tomorrow. We're thinking early bird gets the worm. You want the best selection. And, you know, what else are you going to do on a Monday? Getting ready for President's Day sale, which is going to be here. I don't know how you celebrate President's Day, but it'd be a great way to celebrate, I would think, with a great night's rest.
I do it with powdered wigs. Yeah. Nice powdered wig, wandering around the house. Those high white stockings are awesome.
And that's it, right?
And knickers.
Oh, okay, good. At least you have knickers on.
So I suggest that while you're doing that, you may head down to Sleep Country and say, I am here to see Yawn Mattress. And then you slap yourself on it and roll around in your eye socks, your knickers, your powdered wig, and your black shoes with big buckles. And then you find the one you want, and you think to and you say to yourself, I will buy this one for President's Day. It pleases me. And then they'll deliver it for you. And all things will be good. And they'll take your old mattress away for you. And you'll be standing out on the porch in your black buckled shoes, waving at them as they drive away. It's Sleep Train. You'll find them in Corvallis, Eugene, Albany, Springfield. They're all over the place. Tell them Bill and Rob from the Wake Up Call sent you.
Local news, local people, Holloway and London, and the Wake Up Call.
I want you to get up now.
On News Radio 1120, KPNW.
Yes?
I said nothing. It's 1120 KPNW. Bill and I were just talking off the air about the conditions out there. Kind of sneaky, and I think that's probably what got, maybe some people in trouble, is that it's kind of that sneaky, slippery out there. You didn't think it was going to be, and you might look and see 34 degrees, but then come up on some ice or some icy conditions, and by then it's too late.
Yeah, so take it a little easy out there. Eugene Police, again, sending us confirmation this morning in a email that things are definitely icy out there and that they have been responding to a number of different problems around the area because of icy conditions. So just know that that is the case. Really, they're not saying which particular areas are the worst. Just that they've received multiple reports of crashes this morning due to unexpectedly icy conditions. And it's black ice out there this morning. It doesn't surprise me. I don't know what it was like here, say, about 3 o'clock this morning. I can tell you that in my neck of the woods, down or up Corvallis way, very foggy until you get out to about I-5, and then it just cleared up. And when I say cleared up, I mean it was just like, clear. Kind of clearing. And I wondered if things, were going to be icy, whether there would have been some freezing fog, because that's usually the way it goes. You get it really foggy conditions, and then when it gets cold, the fog just dissipates, and all of that fog turns to ice. And I'm wondering if that's not what happened here. So be careful out there this morning. Also, we do have some schools that are running on a delay. Fern Ridge is going to be running 2 hours late today. Also, Junction City is on snow routes, and I think it was Blotchley is running on a 2-hour delay. Yep, due to ice. So, there you go. Be careful out there.
Hey, today is the first day of the grilled cheese experience with Food for Lane County. Beer Stein, probably some restaurants that you already frequent. But if you go to foodforlanecounty.org and check out the website, there's 18 restaurants. I guarantee you if there's one or two, maybe three, that you've never wizardry and come up with something pretty incredible. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people checking out Red Wagon Creamery to see how grilled cheese can beat ice cream. $1 to $2 a portion of every item sold, and this is the special menu at each of the restaurants. Each one sold, a portion going to go to Food for Lane County, and it's going to be going for the next 14 days to the 15th. And the cool thing about it, you can get like a passport, or there's also an Instagram contest. A lot of things involved in the second annual grilled cheese experience. So if you have a chance today, lunchtime, maybe think about one every other day or every day if you can do that. Maybe get a crew together and help out Food for Lane County. FFLC is, I think, got another win, and we're happy to be involved. Anything that's got food and good food,
I'm pretty much again down for that.
Tie us to that.
Big thumbs up going out to that. And cheese. Cheese. It's cheese. I love cheese.
If you go to one of these places, or when you go, let's think positive, and you take a photo, go ahead and put it on our Facebook page. Especially if you think it's photogenic. If it's one of the things that deserves a little attention, put it on the Facebook page. We'd love to see what each of the restaurants. And again, 18 cheesy, delicious creations. And you can get information on our website as well, KPNW.com.
Hi, I'm Eric Harple with Realty One Group. You've heard our ads with Glenn Beck and Lars Larson for years, and like they said, I have been the top real estate agent in Lane County for more than 5 years. But honestly, who cares? What I care about is helping you get your home sold for the most money possible within your time frame. My team and I help more home sellers sell than any other agent, and most at full price or more. How? Massive marketing. When you're number one, you can do things the others can't. I'm not bragging. I'm applying for a job. I want to be your realtor. And if you're not happy, fire me. Mind you, I think you'll be happy because our bulletproof listing offers flexible commissions, the right to sell it yourself, cancel anytime. You're in control. We sell homes for top dollar regardless of the time of year, and we put the money in your pocket. For a free information package, call 541-286-3030. Call Harple Real Estate countywide, 541-286-3030 or harplehomes.com. Thank you.
All right, let's open up there, Dave. Yes, you have the worst cavity I've ever seen before.
Oh, that explains this horrible pain.
Okay, then have a good day.
Well, aren't you going to fix it?
Oh, no, I'm not a dentist, just a dental monitor.
Monitor?
I don't fix cavities, just let you know when you have them. Like I said, it's a pretty big hole.
Why monitor a problem if you don't fix it? That's why LifeLock does more than free credit monitoring to protect you from identity theft. We not only use proprietary technology to detect and alert you to a range of identity threats. If you have a problem, we have a U.S.-based team of specialists who'll fix it. After all, plaque attacks are nothing compared to the identity theft that 1 in 4 people experienced last year. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But with LifeLock, protecting your identity is pretty painless. Your molars are a different story. Membership starts at $9.99 a month. Sign up now and get 10% off. Go to lifelock.com and enter promo code NEWS.
Wildlife boating, fishing, camping, and more. 43rd Annual Eugene Boating Sportsman Show is back at the Lane County Fairgrounds Friday through Sunday, February 5th through the 7th. Get up close and personal with the Great Bear Show's 400-pound giants. Meet Gold Rush star Dakota Fred. Revel in Tough Shed's Ultimate Man Cave. See the hottest wake surfing boats, kayaks, SUPs, and accessories. Seven Feathers Big Game Room features record trophies and head and horns competition. See the latest products, hunting and fishing guides, ammo, giant fish tank, and more.
For kids?
There's the Pepsi Live Trout Pond, archery range, shooting gallery, climbing wall, and the zip line. Jody Smith and Dan Clore had an impressive list of speakers in the Sportsman's Theater. Enter to win a Gold Quest adventure with Dakota Fred, a guaranteed trailer, and buy Mart door prizes. The first 100 adults will win a free scratcher from the Oregon Lottery. And every adult patron will get a subscription to Northwest Sportsman magazine. Take advantage of low show prices on all the latest model boats at Lane County's premier boat display and sale. All of this at the KUZI Boating Sportsman Show, Lane County Fairgrounds, presented by Mart, February 5th through the 7th. See you there.
It's about time someone put the beer in root beer. Introducing Best Damn Root Beer. Aged over real vanilla beans, this easy-drinking hard root beer delivers a timeless classic that's been reinvented for the 21 and over crowd. New Best Damn Root Beer from Best Damn Brewing Company. Brews you can swear by. Now that's Best Damn. Enjoy responsibly. Best Damn Root Beer Ale. Best Damn Brewing Company, St. Louis, Missouri.
Weather every 10 minutes during the wake-up call. Count on it. News Radio 1120, KPNW.
Another partly sunny day for the Willamette Valley, starting off cool with temperatures in the low 40s and warming up to the mid-40s by early this afternoon. Expecting to stay mostly dry to start off your work week with only a 20% chance of showers. Overall, a very mild start to the first week of February with calm winds from the south-southwest around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Clouds increase tonight with overnight lows in the low 30s. From the NBC 16 First Alert Weather Center, I'm Angelica Carrillo.
The wake-up call with Holloway and London on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
6:40, 20 away from 7 o'clock. Got some icy conditions out there, and if you know anybody, or maybe that's you, that hails in the likes of Blatchley, 2-hour delay, as well as Fern Ridge School District, both coming up on the 2-hour delay list. Junction City, the buses are on the snow routes, so if you've got a little tricky elevation or some slick spots, might have to meet the bus, which is probably better. You see anything else out there that bears reporting in the form of slick conditions, or maybe something that has gone wrong that has kind of provided for a, we'll just say an obstacle in the morning? Let us know so we can pass that on. So early going, going to be slick. Once it warms up, I think we should be okay. Eventual high of, a balmy 46 degrees. Any setup for our chat with Mr. Clark?
Well, he'd been teasing for a while that he was potentially going to be running for mayor. And so he came on the wake-up call to, even though the day before he had stood down by the river, in front of the river, saying, I think I want to run for governor. He came into the studio to give it the wake-up call announcement. So anyway, here he is, Mike Clark, city councilor, on the wake-up call. It's Radio 1120 KPNW. It's 8:26. Well, you heard him during the news 3 times today saying that, by the way, we have all these things that we need to do, and we need to do them in a certain way, and if we don't do them in a certain way, then we're doomed, or something like that. Joining us on the wake-up call this morning, current city councilman here in Eugene and current mayoral candidate and potentially future mayor, Mike Clark, joining us on the wake-up call.
Thank you, gentlemen. How are you? I think you, by the way, have a future in drama. There was kind of a Macbeth-type moment there.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
Was that good?
That was good.
Was that a good imitation of you? Yeah, Rob was saying.
I wouldn't say.
Rob was saying earlier this morning that we actually look alike.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to hear that. I apologize for you. My condolences.
He has taken offense at that. I mean, he's talked about it ever since. Like, wow, I think I touched a nerve. I don't know.
No, not at all.
What
I think you should be more offended, Mike Clark. I think you should be.
No.
What do you think?
If you guys were standing from like your press, from a ways away, and you were to see a photo on Facebook, because they're not very real clear, there is am my 5-year-old confused?
He would look like the good brother. I would be the one living in the tar paper shack.
No argument there.
If you were to look at us on the stream right now,
if you guys were brothers, I would think you were
it's like,
you're the criminal.
Yeah, Mike's the one that's coming up. Come on, man. If you just come on down out of the mountains and just you live with me for a while, and I'll get you back. I'll help you get a job.
Bill London, my unfortunate brother. Okay,
yes,
excellent. I like it.
You like that?
Yeah,
it's good. You can actually, if you want, add that to your campaign portfolio. I brought my brother down from his tar paper shack in the mountains to live with me so that I could help him get a job and get back on his feet.
Well, anything I can do, my friend.
And he's not dangerous anymore.
Yeah, I like the book here too, by the way, on
Why We
on the camera. Why We Snap is sitting on the counter here, and I was just wondering if you had issues around that or something.
Oh yeah, and it was great of the doctor to call up and kind of help me work through my 9 revealing triggers.
Yeah, that's good information.
Yeah. Anyway, so you decided that you were going to run for the hardest job in Eugene that actually has no pay.
Somebody...
is that why old people always run for that position, is because they don't have anything better to do?
Well, I'm not sure I accept the premise of old people. I'm not feeling that particularly, No, it's kind of... I don't know how to say this out loud without sounding really corny, but there's a sense of duty associated with it. When I know how, I kind of feel like I should. I think I can help. you know, and I enjoy it. So I know that that's, in this day and age, that's sometimes a little odd, maybe, but I actually enjoy the process very much. And
why?
Why? Because it matters. I have 2 kids, and they're like some of the best people you ever want to know, but this is the only place they're ever going to grow up. And so if I have the ability to make it better for them, for everybody else, as I tend to see it, I kind of feel like I should try.
Okay, so if you have the ability, what do you see as your strengths in that ability, and then what are the things you need to work on?
Well, are you talking about this campaign specifically?
I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you. You know what you bring day to day to the city of Eugene. You know, with you in your role as city councilor and dealing with people. As a future possible mayor.
Right. This is an odd thing to say. It's a little trite, but the good Lord gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, and I think he had some manner of proportionality in mind. So I think one of the things that I enjoy doing is being able to listen well.
Mike Twain joining us on the wake-up call, by the way.
I think that the ability to hear what people, even of really different points of view, are trying to say, and the nuggets and the kernels of truth in what they're saying, is something that's hard to do, and I'm comfortable doing that. And so to be able to then turn that around and say, represent a group of people, in this case right now on council, those in Ward 5 in North Eugene. I understand my constituents reasonably well, I think, and I believe I'm effective at advocating for their point of view at the table. And I think that's important work. Some important stuff gets decided there. So
what do you need to work on?
What's that?
So what do you need to work on? What are your misgivings, your
weaknesses? Well, I tend to sometimes put more on my plate than I have the capacity to eat, let's say, in the scheduling of my day-to-day activities. You know, I probably need to learn to do that better.
Well, it's interesting that you brought that up. How does one, because as I said earlier, why is it that old people always end up running for mayor? Mainly because they don't really have a job or anything to do during the day. They're retirees, and so they can spend a lot of time working for free.
It will be challenging to do this and work at the same time.
Yeah, and not only work, but mind you, you have your own business.
Yes, sir.
It's not like you're an employee for somebody.
Right. I've had an advertising marketing PR firm for about 28 years, and it will be harder to do that from the standpoint that Eugene is now accustomed to having a full-time mayor, and has through the last 2 terms of both Kitty Piercy and Jim Torrey. So that's their expectation set, and I think the Register Guard wrote about that a while back, that may have to change. I may not have the capacity to devote 40 hours a week to it, but maybe 30. But I think I might guess that would be okay with some people, you know?
Do you think that being the mayor of Eugene, that the job of being mayor in Eugene requires 40 or more hours a week?
I don't, actually. If you look back before mayors Piercy and Torrey, it was never done on a full-time basis before that. And I'm not certain that it needs to be. But especially as I've served on council the last 10 years, Mayor Piercy and I don't always agree on everything. But I have to give her the respect of complete dedication to the process of being mayor. She does a very good job of being everywhere she possibly can and helping everybody feel as though she's at least present for them, you know, at some point or other.
That being said, before mayors Piercy and Torrey, we're talking about a lengthy amount of time.
Yes.
Here on out,
years.
I mean, wouldn't you think that Eugene and the requirements of the job might be a little bit different?
It's not for me to decide. It's for the people of Eugene to decide. I've decided that I would like to do this. I think I can do this, and I've oriented my life.
But I'm talking about a schedule. You were talking about 40 hours.
I can work, you know, there's a small amount of money that a person gets paid for being mayor, but there's greater satisfaction. I can work 20 hours a week and between the two make enough to, you know, pay my bills, make sure the life works. So, you know, I'm going to give it a shot.
All right, off the email. Good morning. Except for the obvious, what is the difference between Mr. Clark and Kitty Piercy? I'm looking for real change, not the same old. Except for the obvious. I guess, well, you know, the obvious would be that she has a full beard, you have just a partial one.
That's not nice.
So, what's the difference between you and and Mayor Piercy.
It's premature there.
Yeah, I know.
So that was good.
You're welcome.
We see a lot of the important issues differently. What's really interesting, though, is I like to...
Well, how? I mean, she wants to know what is the difference? What's the difference between you two?
The difference is the manner of getting there. We both, as do most people on council, often see the same end result, the place we'd like to be, and how we describe our best outcome and what that looks like. But we oftentimes have very different means by which we think the city is best able to get there. And so that's kind of where the disagreement sometimes comes in. We'd all like to live in affordable housing with plenty of, all of the good things in life and have a high degree of livability. But what is the best way to accomplish that? Sometimes people disagree on those things.
Give an example.
Give an example. I'm just trying to think of the last sort of debate we have. I, for example, think that the best way to make sure that, one of the challenges we have in our community, I think the United Way just put out a report that said it was in the paper recently here, that 43% of the people in our community live in very economically challenged circumstances, live, near at the poverty line. I think I'm one of those 43%, frankly. But how do we address that? What do we do? Part of that is the being rent burdened, they say, where you're paying more than 50% of your income towards your housing. And there are more than 30% of the people in our community that live that way. So what do we do about it? I believe that we should make it easier to build less expensive, but good housing for people to live in. Other people think that we need to subsidize housing. Those are two different approaches to try and, get to the same end.
All right. What do you think are going to be the main issues of this particular campaign? What are going to be the main issues that you and the others are going to be debating?
I know the three I think are most important. I know that I think we need... There are several things, and as you mentioned, that we're going to make some decisions about, and those decisions are going to have ramifications that last in the community for a while.
A millennium.
I don't know about that, but, for a while anyway. So in order to address those appropriately, in order to do that work well, I think we need to focus on three things. We need a built environment worthy of the people who live here. And by that I mean we're going to have an opportunity to design and build together as a community what's on our riverbank in the 17 acres at eWeb here, and that's going to change kind of fundamentally the nature of how people spend time and work and live downtown. That's going to be an important bit of work, and that'll be decided in the next 2, 3, 4 years. That'll be done. We're going to build a new city hall. We're going to establish our urban growth boundary about where we build housing and where we don't. I mean, there are a lot of things about how we're going to look at the building of the future of our community. They're going to be dealt with in the next couple of years, and I think we need to do that well. Number two, we need an economy that's growing and able to sustain that kind of infrastructure that we need, and the people. It's going to need to. We're under where we need to be in terms of putting good people to work that want to find meaningful things to do. So we need to, there are roles that the city can play that are appropriate. We can provide utilities, for example. I've been advocating since December and think it's a very important thing to do for the sake of economic development in our downtown, that we get fiber put into several hundred buildings downtown, and that we connect it to what they call the mid-mile, so that we get 100 gig speeds in downtown to the tech sector. Now, that's going to do something that puts us in the community, if we do it in the next 6 months to a year, as one of maybe 10 cities in the United States that have that speed of internet connection. That has significance as the tech sectors move in some ways more towards what they call the Internet of Things, where there's large amounts of data that are used. That it's essentially you're putting a pipe in the ground to get a larger amount of stuff, through it. I think things like that are appropriate roles for the city to make sure that the utilities here are offer the greatest opportunity to leverage what businesses want to do in our community.
Mike Clark from last week on the Wake Up Call. He wants to be your mayor if you live in Eugene. 6:54, just to kind of get you caught up on what you're encountering potentially. Blatchley is on a 2-hour late schedule, delayed. Blatchley School District, as is Fern Ridge. Junction City on the bus snow route, and Junction City's Head Start of Lane County has canceled classes out in Junction City. Staff apparently still have to report. Very icy out there. We're getting reports that Bertelson, West 11th South to Bailey Hill is a sheet of ice. Kind of sneaky slippery out there because you don't expect it to be quite what it is. So I would just take it nice and easy. All right, hour number 2 coming up. It's a Monday wake-up call, 1120 KPNW. Good morning.
For 42 years, Serenity Lane has served as a leader in the treatment of alcohol and drug addiction. With continuing demand for services, we are building a new campus in Coburg, Oregon, allowing us to double our capacity and increase the number of residential beds in the state of Oregon by almost 20%. Addiction knows no boundaries. It negatively affects our neighbors, our families, and our friends. Join us this coming March as we celebrate the grand opening of our new campus. Learn more at serenitylane.org.
This message is brought to you in association with Ears.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom49.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom49.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom49.com. Go to freedom49.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom49.com.
18 incredible restaurants, 18 cheesy choices, as the Kendall Auto Group in 1120 KPNW present the second annual Grilled Cheese Experience, a benefit for Food for Lane County. From February 1st to the 15th, visit as many of our restaurants as you can and taste their respective takes on the grilled cheese sandwich. Places like the Cornbread Cafe, Fisherman's Market, and the Vintage. $1 to $2 from each item sold will benefit Food for Lane County. Get info on the Cheesy Passport, plus a list of all our restaurants by going to kpnw.com.
News Radio 1120 KPNW.
I'm Gary Conley with today's Money Minute. Recently, I compared 2 loan offers for a Bank of America credit card. One was 0% interest over 19 months for a 4% fee. The other was 22 months at 4.99% with no fee. In broad terms, the second one is twice as expensive, so only the ignorant would choose it. But I'm sure the bank is loaning lots of money on these terms, or the same offer wouldn't keep showing up. Still, borrowing on a credit card at these rates is easy and cheap, as long as you pay it off by the time the promotional period ends. If you don't, the rate goes to 10 or 15%. For other deals, it's no doubt more. Here's the nugget. In fact, that's what the bank is counting on when they extend these offers. Typically, the minimum payment is only 1% of the balance. Say you borrow 10 grand. That means about $100 a month. At 0% in 19 months, you would still owe about $8,000. And at 15%, just the interest is now $100 a month. So if you're tempted by one of these deals, figure out how much a month it will take to pay it off completely before the promotion expires. If you're not absolutely sure you can do it, don't pull the trigger. I'm Gary Conley, and that's today's Money Minute.
It's the latest wake-up call market news. This is the KPNW Business Report.
But I'm sure the bank
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. U.S. stocks are falling in early trading on this first day of February as worsening Chinese data reignites concern about the impact of the country's slowdown on global growth. Right now, the Dow is down 134 points, or 0.8% at 16,333. The S&P 500 is lower by 15, or almost 0.8% at 1925. Crude oil continues its slump this morning, down 3.8% at $32.36 a barrel. Shares of Alair are surging this morning after Abbott Labs agreed to buy the company for $56 a share, or about $5.8 billion, adding the smaller company's suite of diagnostic testing devices and products. And Twitter shares are jumping this morning after a report in the publication The Information said investor Mark Andreessen and private equity firm Silver Lake have considered some sort of a deal involving Twitter. Gina, sir.
We report, you decide. This is News Radio 1120 KPNW, Eugene, Springfield, USA.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. They'll caucus tonight in Iowa.
The stakes in this election could not be higher.
Hillary Clinton hopes to hold off a surging Bernie Sanders.
We are telling the American people the truth.
It's also a close Republican race. Fox's Jared Halpern live in Des Moines.
The polls suggest tonight is Donald Trump's to win.
I thought real estate people in New York were bad. These politicians are the worst liars. Wow.
But the big question, can Trump's enthusiasm translate to votes, or will caucus goers be swayed in the final hours?
Stand and speak for us. If we stand together, we will win.
Texas Senator Ted Cruz considered Trump's closest competitor. Most Republicans are doing last-minute appeals here in Iowa, though Governors Jeb Bush, Chris Christie, and John Kasich all spend caucus night in New Hampshire. Dave.
Now, Jared, you can hear tonight's results live as they come in on many Fox News radio stations. A storm is moving into Iowa late tonight and tomorrow. Wintry weather warnings stretch from upper Michigan to southern California, where snow and ice closed Interstate 5 in and out of LA County early this morning, the day after a huge oak tree crashed down on a car, killing the driver.
Took many hours to get the part of the tree off the car and then cut the car away from her.
San Diego Fire and Rescue Captain Joe Amador. Peace talks to end Syria's civil war are still slow to develop, but the U.S. just sent an envoy into a war zone. Fox's Jill Nato live in Washington.
The State Department confirms for Fox News that special presidential envoy Brett McGurk was in northern Syria this weekend. McGurk was there to see what kind of progress is being made in the coalition fight to destroy ISIS. McGurk reportedly joined British and French officials in a Kurdish enclave. Some sources say McGurk's visit was aimed at maintaining the U.S. relationship with the Kurds after they were excluded from Syrian peace talks in Geneva being led by the United Nations. Dave?
Jill, a woman who taught English at a California jail will be in court today accused of helping 3 prisoners break out. One was recaptured Friday, the other 2 caught Saturday. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Wildlife, boating, fishing, camping, and more. 43rd Annual Eugene Boating Sportsman Show is back at the Lane County Fairgrounds Friday through Sunday, February 5th through the 7th. Get up close and personal with the Great Bear Show's 400-pound giants. Meet Gold Rush star Dakota Fred. Revel in Tough Shed's Ultimate Man Cave. See the hottest wake surfing boats, kayaks, SUPs, and accessories. Seven Feathers Big Game Room features record trophies and head and horns competition. See the latest products, hunting and fishing guides, ammo, giant fish tank, and more. For kids? There's the Pepsi Live Trout Pond, archery range, shooting gallery, climbing wall, and the zip line. Jody Smith and Dan Clore had an impressive list of speakers in the Sportsman's Theater. Enter to win a Gold Quest adventure with Dakota Fred, a guaranteed trailer, and buy 'em outdoor prizes. The first 100 adults will win a free scratcher from the Oregon Lottery. And every adult patron will get a subscription to Northwest Sportsman magazine. Take advantage of low show prices on all of the latest model boats at Lane County's premier boat display and sale. All of this at the KUZI Boating Sportsman Show, Lane County Fairgrounds, presented by Bimart, February 5th through the 7th. See you there.
New month, similar story to January on Wall Street, where there is selling this morning. Fox Business Network's Nicole Petalides live at the New York Stock Exchange.
Good morning, Dave. We're seeing the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 158 points, sitting at 16,308. The Nasdaq pulling back by 45. The S&P 500 down nearly 20. All 3 of the major averages down roughly 1% each on the heels of weaker data out of China. Once again, that weighs on oil and also equities. Talking about particular stocks here, we're seeing Chipotle Mexican Grill moving to the upside as the CDC is getting close close to ending the E. coli scare. Aetna gains on better than expected profit, and Twitter gains on a day where we're hearing from Mark Andreessen and Silver Lake that there may be some sort of deal for Twitter, and that is a win. We've also seen consumer spending somewhat flat. Dave.
All right, thank you, Nicole. That consumer spending coming in unchanged in December. The savings rate for Americans, highest level in 3 years. Nicole also mentioned oil, down more than $1 this morning, close to about $32 a barrel again. Gas is down slightly. AAA's national average for regular just over $1.79 a gallon, 20 cents less than we were paying a month ago. A minor league hockey player who the NHL tried to keep out of the All-Star game despite the fans voting him in, ended up stealing the show.
A week ago, John Scott wasn't sure he would even be in the NHL All-Star game. He ended Sunday night's game in Nashville with 2 goals and was named the MVP.
I never in a million years would have believed I was in an All-Star game and have the fans get behind me like that. And to score 2 goals in a game is just, you know, you can't put it into words. Like, you can't write this stuff. It's unbelievable how it happened.
Scott was with the Arizona Coyotes when the fans voted him into the game as the captain of the Pacific Division team. He'll now return to the Montreal Canadiens farm club he's assigned to. In Nashville, Will Clark, Fox News.
At the NFL's Pro Bowl, Team Irvin beat Team Rice thanks to Russell Wilson's 3 touchdown passes. Tonight, the Super Bowl comes into focus. The Denver Broncos and Carolina Panthers meet the media in prime time. Of course, the game is Sunday. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
.705 News Radio 1120 KPNW. I am pleasantly surprised that we don't have just a litany of snapping traffics, at least that are getting reported to ODOT. I'm sure they're potentially out there because we're getting reports of sheets of ice kind of in pockets all over Eugene, Springfield. So just know you might encounter a little slick situation today, even though, you know, it's 35 degrees. Coming in for the most of my drive was 34. So it might sneak up on you. School-wise, as we get closer to the 8 o'clock hour, Blatchley and Fern Ridge school districts are in a 2-hour delay. Junction City is on a snow route when it comes to the buses, and that's pretty much it. Looks like everybody else is reporting. So there you go.
And that whole issue with Bertelsen and West 11th to Bailey Hill, thanks to our road rangers for calling in this morning and going, whoa, skating rink out there, whoa. That's kind of the way he did it, sort of.
And
that's my paraphrase.
Bailey Hill, nothing you want to navigate when it's icy like that.
Yeah.
Out there, boy, not fun.
So be nice to yourself and take a little extra care out there this morning. I'm going to assume that that's going to be what we're seeing here is going to be the case as we get north of the area. Obviously, Junction City's having some problems. Probably Albany, Corvallis will start dealing with some issues a little bit later on as well. So just be careful out there. It was about 34, 33 degrees thereabouts when I was leaving this morning, and it was very foggy in the Corvallis area. And then it started to clear up as I got close to I-5. So just kind of be careful. You could be running into some nastiness this morning.
All right, news coming up. Stand by. It's 11:20 KPNW.
In the morning, when you're on the run, stop and eat at Burrito Amigos. One of Burrito Amigos' little-known facts is that you can get the Burrito Amigos breakfast platter. Once you've ordered it, you need to start making decisions. Are you going to have bacon, link sausage, chorizo, or chili verde? And how are those eggs going to be cooked? Over easy, scrambled, kind of hard, sunny side up, or some other way? Then you wait a minute or so, and it's all served up with potatoes, cheese, beans, and corn tortillas. Once someone smiling delivers the Burrito Amigos platter, it's breakfast on. It's a quick, tasty, inexpensive sit-down meal. It's only $7.50, or do it meatless for $6.50 if you want to get all vegetarian first thing in the morning. Since their name is Burrito Amigos, a big old breakfast burrito isn't out of the question, with your choice of bacon, sausage, chorizo, machaca, or huevos rancheros in junior or adult size. As Burrito Amigos' biggest fan, I vote adult, the large one. It holds more bacon. Burrito Amigos in Springfield
Field in Eugene. Stop and eat breakfast. I'm Bill London, Burrito Amigos fan, and I approve this message.
Whether it's new or recycled office furniture, Oregon's most respected office furniture dealer is Office Furniture Direct in Portland, selling furniture throughout the state. Office Furniture Direct has clients up and down I-5 and is making trips into Eugene every month and can be your source for the best price and finest installation. Save money on quality office furniture at Office Furniture Direct at ofd-pdx.com.
It's the Regency Factory Fireplace event at Ambassador Fireplaces. Up to $2,150 in savings on select gas, wood, pellet stoves, or inserts. Increase your home's efficiency and get cash incentives from the Energy Trust of Oregon. February 5th and 6th, ambassadorfireplaces.com for more information. CCB 121469.
News, information, 24/7 on News Radio 1120, KPNW. It's the big happenings in the Valley and the state. This is the Wake Up Call on 1120 KPNW with Bill London.
Good morning. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed, locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Here's what's going on. The occupation of the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge is at a stalemate. Eamon Bundy and the others arrested this week won't go free until the occupation ends. Bundy's attorney, Mike Arnold of Eugene, says the occupiers want the group released from jail.
They are now saying that they're not going to leave the refuge because he was not released. That is a horrible idea. The process is working.
The judges ruled the group's not going to get bail unless the occupation ends. The people occupying the refuge say they want everyone pardoned. The FBI has told them not going to happen. The occupation of that wildlife refuge continues, and militia leader Eamon Bundy is now telling them directly, not through a lawyer, to go home.
We only came to expose abuse and educate people about their rights protected by the Constitution of the United States.
Bundy is in jail. The call was recorded by his wife and posted on YouTube. In Burns, the Pacific Patriot Network is gathering for a demonstration today. Saturday night, they paraded through town in their cars. Several residents lined the streets in opposition.
I hope so, but after the videotape, I don't think so. That's all I see in the back of my mind is him getting gunned down by the guy behind him.
The group says it has local residents taking part in the demonstration. Now, another group from Idaho that call themselves the 3 Percenters is also in Burns, showing support for the militia members at the refuge and condemning the shooting of Lavoy Finicum. President of the 3 Percenters, Brandon Curtis, says they know many of residents of Burns don't want them in town.
And we've heard that many times. We've heard that from community members, we just want this over, we want our town back. But I think what's happened as time has progressed, they understand why we're here.
The 3 Percenters have called a rally in Burns on Monday. About 36 people paid their respects Sunday afternoon at a makeshift memorial that's strung up where rancher Lavoy Finicum was shot and killed by police last week on Highway 395 north of Burns. The mourners wiped away tears, prayed, and laid a copy of the Constitution on a large wooden cross that's been planted at the site. The site is also surrounded by American flags and signs, including one that says, "Rest in peace, Lavoy Finicum, a true American hero." Well, there have been some rallies against the militia and the takeover of the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge. Several of them happened in places not in Burns, like in Eugene. Ken Newbeck said they want the occupiers to leave.
So we want to give people an opportunity to have a voice to kind of speak to the folks in Harney County.
Then maybe they ought to go to Malheur County. The event was sponsored in part by the Rural Organizing Project, a group of environmentalists. They also expressed sympathy for the Burns Paiute tribe that has several artifacts in storage at the wildlife headquarters buildings. 1 person and 2 dogs are dead following a shootout in Rice Hill. Now, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office says they received a report of a stolen 4-wheeler Saturday morning. The deputies said the suspected driver, Brian Skevers, had a dog with him. Later that same morning, the sheriff's office says Frank Hendrickson found the dog on his property chasing his animals. Hendrickson killed the dog. Investigators say Skevers rode onto Hendrickson's driveway in the four-wheeler that was stolen, stole a rifle from Hendrickson's truck, and then opened fire on both Hendrickson and his wife. Then there was an exchange of gunfire, and both Skevers and Hendrickson's dog were injured. Deputies say Skevers was declared dead at the scene. Hendrickson's dog also died. The sheriff's office said no arrests have been made, although the case is likely going to go to a Douglas County grand jury. A memorial was held over the weekend at Staten High School honoring Ty Hart. Thousands packed the gym to remember the 21-year-old.
It is my hope that as we remember the kind of person Ty was and the impact that he had, that we will carry those qualities with us as we keep him in our own hearts. Ty, you will never be forgotten.
Hart was a member of the football and wrestling teams. He was killed in a helicopter crash near Hawaii that claimed the lives of 12 Marines. Hart was from Almsville and graduated from Staten High School. A local high school student, authorities say, brought a toy gun to school and made threats, has been suspended. Cottage Grove police say the male student at Cottage Grove High School is not expected to face charges. Authorities say the school resource officer was told about a student who might be armed and took the boy out of class. The officer determined the boy had a cap gun and that school officials had suspended him. Officials say the student remains suspended until it's determined that he's not a threat. So is Green Hill Humane Society, in its function running First Avenue's animal shelter, a public body under the Public Records Act? Well, that is a question a judge is going to be deciding after a hearing today in Eugene. In the case of Green Hill Humane Society versus Debbie McNamara, McNamara claims that Green Hill, which is contracted by the county to run the public shelter, should be required to provide records about the shelter when a request is made. Green Hill Humane Society has fought public records requests for several years, even though it accepts your tax dollars to run the First Avenue shelter. The issue of the public records was first decided by the Lane County District Attorney, who said that Green Hill is subject to public records requests. Green Hill appealed that ruling. In administrative proceedings, the state also ruled in favor of McNamara that Green Hill needed to turn over the records. Green Hill's appeal of that decision brings them to today's court proceedings. Green Hill receives about $500,000 a year in taxpayer money to run the First Avenue shelter. McNamara started making the public records requests after complaints were made about the treatment of animals at the shelter shortly after Green Hill took control in 2012. She has been making public records requests ever since, and Green Hill has refused them. Oregon lawmakers will flock to the Capitol today to begin what's already being considered the busiest short session to date. Over the next 35 days, there will be a whirlwind of proposed budget tweaks and a wide spectrum of massive policy changes that could fundamentally impact Oregonians' daily lives with very little, if no, debate on any of them. Some of this year's biggest legislative issues: raising the state's minimum wage, increasing corporate taxes dramatically, privatizing the state's liquor monopoly, phasing out coal power for renewables, are all responses to special interest groups' threats to take more aggressive proposals to voters in November. Although some would say, let the voters decide. Also, Michael Bloomberg's massive donations to Democratic candidates will start paying off as Senator Floyd Przonski and others attempt to shove through more radical gun control laws. Policymakers will also explore ways to overhaul the state's troubled foster care system, ensure housing stays affordable, and refine the new marijuana laws. If you're searching for someone to do your taxes, Brad Ford says the IRS has a few tips.
It's easy to get ripped off if you find a shady tax preparer. David Tucker with the IRS says you should ask about the fee. It should be based on the work they do.
Avoiding those preparers who base their fee on a percentage of their client's refund.
Also, don't let them tell you they'll find deductions no one else can find.
Because if they're doing it accurately and doing it legally, the amount that they should get should be standard with everyone.
Check their qualifications. The IRS has a directory on their website. Check their history with the Better Business Bureau. And don't sign a blank tax return expecting them to fill it out. Brad Ford, KPNW.
Well, the clock is ticking for medical marijuana dispensaries selling recreational products. Now, by rule, recreational marijuana tax payments are due monthly starting, well, today. Before making their first payment, the dispensaries have to register so they can create a tax account. That's according to Marijuana Tax Program Manager John Galvin. He says it is the law. As of now, 120 of the 309 dispensaries selling recreational pot, according to Oregon Health Authority's public list, still haven't registered with the Revenue Department. Also, only 5 of those 309 dispensaries have scheduled an appointment to remit the taxes they collected from customers in January. Oregon Senator Ron Wyden was in Medford this weekend, where he announced he's publicly endorsing Hillary Clinton in her campaign to become president. According to Wyden's press secretary, Hank Stern, Wyden chose to make the announcement during a private interview on Saturday. He revealed his pick in light of the upcoming Iowa caucus and anticipation of the primary election. Wyden also endorsed Clinton in 2008 when she ran against Barack Obama for the Democratic nomination. Stern said Wyden has always admired Clinton's political stance dating back to when she was First Lady and when the two worked together in the U.S. Senate. Figures, seeing as how Wyden also lives in New York. Wyden agrees with her platforms, he says, on a variety of different things, including a woman's right to choose and affordable health care. The same things that Bernie Sanders believes in. Iowa will hold the first primary election in the country. Well, it was quite a mess on I-5 just north of Cresswell near milepost 183 on Saturday morning. It's because a semi-truck got into a wreck. It wasn't so much that the semi-truck wrecked as much as it was what it was carrying, namely hundreds of cases of wine. And they needed to be salvaged, or at least what was left needed to be salvaged. The boxes were removed from the tow truck before the semi could be pulled out of the roadway. Then shortly after 11:30 a.m., ODOT successfully removed the semi-truck, but they had to keep the fast lane closed while they cleaned up gallons upon gallons of wine. At 7:20, this look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. One reminder to you, very icy this morning, so just be careful as you're out there driving this morning. A number of icy areas. Bertelson from 11th to Bailey Hill, an ice rink this morning. Also a number of schools, Blotchley, Fern Ridge on a 2-hour delay because of ice. Junction City running on snow routes. I'm Bill Lennon, KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
NFL Pro Bowl, Russell Wilson made Michael Irvin look good, taking him with the first pick in the draft last week, throwing 3 first-half touchdowns in yesterday's Pro Bowl. Honolulu. Team Irvin runs away from Team Rice, Jerry Rice's team, 49-27. Seahawk Wilson chosen as the offensive MVP. His teammate Michael Bennett, the defensive MVP. Hometown hero Marcus Mariota led his alma mater, St. Louis High, onto the field at halftime to the deafening roar of the 50,000 plus in the stands. NFL buzz over the weekend. Calvin Johnson has told sources he plans to hang it up. Megatron, mega gone, done with football. NBA, Damian Lillard, C.J. McCollum, each 21 points, and the Portland Trailblazers win their 4th in a row, 96-93. Lillard and McCollum not lighting it up from the three-point line. 1 of 10. The team, 6 of 27, and yet they still won. Golden State Steph Curry, only 13 points, but Klay Thompson again has his back, dropping 34 in the 116-95 Warrior win in New York over the Knicks. Oregon Duck women, the basketball team, won their game 76-54 against Arizona at Matthew Knight, but more importantly, there were heavy hearts as it was announced multi-sport athlete Liz Brenner, her dad died on Saturday from a heart attack. Oregon Duck men sweep the Arizona schools. Last night, the men took sole possession of first place with a 91-74 destruction of the Sun Devils. Chris Boucher, a career-high 26. And former Oregon and Seahawks running back Derek LaVille has been charged with racketeering and dealing drugs in an international narcotics ring in Southern California. I think coaching would have been better. Wake Up Call Sports on KPNW News Time 722.
Your KPNW weather brought to you by Mattress Mania,
where the side effect of saving like crazy may cause excessive high-fiving and a permanent smile. Another partly sunny day for the Willamette Valley, starting off cool with temperatures in the low 40s and warming up to the mid-40s by early this afternoon. Expecting to stay mostly dry to start off your work week with only a 20% chance of showers. Overall, a very mild start to the first week of February with calm winds from the south-southwest around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Clouds increase tonight with overnight lows in the low 30s. From the NBC 16 First Alert Weather Center, I'm Angelica Carrillo.
Hi, everybody. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute, brought to you by Builders Electric, providing smart electrical service since 1960. Take a few minutes today and think about all the things you've accomplished simply because you are willing to take the risk and start something new and different. Eugene Ware, the American poet, once said, "All glory comes from daring to begin." Others have made references to the first step being the worst step, but once you get through the first part, the rest comes easier. Strength of risk-taking requires taking the chances, but as Ware said, after the first step, the glory comes. The glory is that feeling of success from making the effort. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, have a positive day.
Today's Motivational Minute was sponsored by Builders Electric, voted the Register Guard's 2015 Reader's Choice #1 electrical contractor, providing positive service for over 55 years. That's Builders Electric, CCB 4296.
Attention business owners, now's the time to save with the Comcast Business Switch and Save event. Call 800-501-6000 now to get 30% off the regular price on the speed you need to download files faster, send large email attachments, process credit card transactions, and more. You'll get fast 25 megabits per second internet for just $69.95 per month when you add phone and TV, our lowest price of the year. But hurry, this offer ends soon. Afraid switching will disrupt your business? With our no-glitch switch, you can choose your installation time, days, nights, even weekends. Plus, you get our 30-day money-back guarantee. Don't miss the Comcast Business Switch and Save event. Get 30% off internet plus our no-glitch switch. Call 800-501-6000 now. Offer ends 3/31/16. Restrictions apply. Limited to one voice line and private view TV for new business customers with 2-year contract. Equipment, taxes, fees, including broadcast TV fee extra.
Tune in to Real Estate Today, weekdays at 5:30 p.m.
I'm Bob Nelson, co-host of Real Estate Today. Kurt Large and Evergreen Roofing is my go-to company if I need to understand a roofing system, how to maintain the roof, should it be replaced, and if it is to be replaced, what should be done. He is absolutely the expert's expert. Evergreen Roofing is my go-to company.
To find out more about Evergreen Roofing, just go to their website, evergreenroofing.com.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, fish dad!
Oh, come on. This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it is my profound pleasure to introduce
The Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
News Radio 1120 KPNW with, slick conditions. They're not coming in quite as they were earlier, but I think we still are suspecting that there are slick conditions out there, so just be careful. I'm sure Bertelsen, West 11th, not the only spots, but those have been singled out. And we'll just let you know, 2-hour delays with the school district, Blatchley and Fern Ridge, with Junction City coming through with the bus routes headed to the snow sort. So if you hopefully you've kind of gone through this already, you kind of know that if you're on that snow route, you'll have to do some trekking and maybe perhaps meet the bus. Hey, Don Marie Woodward from Food for Lane County is in studio with a host of folk. Welcome back.
Thank you.
This on the first day of the grilled cheese experience.
It is. 15 exciting days coming up.
So, okay, for people that don't know about this, go ahead and talk about, because we had our first last year. So good, we're bringing it back for a second.
We did. So basically, the grilled cheese experience is your opportunity to travel around the area and see and taste different twists on grilled cheese sandwiches. And a portion of each of the money, or each of the items sold, is going to come to Food for Lane County.
When you think of an unusual, I mean, there's 18, so it'd be kind of tough to talk about each one of them, but is there one in particular maybe that might be in studio that you might want to talk about?
Well, this year we have a dessert grilled cheese, which is really different, and that's with Wheels Cafe, and you might be able to smell it a little bit now, but it is cream cheese on cinnamon bread with bananas and Nutella, finished with a dusting of powdered sugar.
How do you know this so well?
Have you already powdered sugar? It's capricious with a hint of stateliness.
Yes, it is. I've been studying these because I've plotted out where I'm going just about every day.
I've been studying cheese sandwiches.
Yes, yes.
And at this point, we've got Amy from Kendall. You were talking off the air about the beginnings of Wheels Cafe, which a lot of people, this is our neck of the woods, and I wasn't familiar, but you're saying it had kind of a cool start.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that Kendall has a restaurant. It's our Wheels Cafe right between Chevy, Honda, and Acura. And yeah, so when we were building and moving
right over here,
right over at the end of Good Pasture. So where Kmart used to be, now it's our Chevy, Cadillac, Acura, and Honda dealership. Yeah. So when we were building that, we did not realize that Acura and Honda, there's a clause that you can't sell both out of the same building. And we realized that after we were starting to do the remodel. So we went back to the drawing board and said, well, what if we put a restaurant between the Honda showroom and the Acura showroom? So we went back and asked, and Acura said that would be sufficient. So that's how the Wheels Cafe came about, and it's definitely a huge hit with our employees for sure, and our customers when they're in getting their vehicle service.
And apparently the food is like incredible, because I've talked to a couple of people that have been very complimentary, we'll say.
Yes, well, our two chefs that are here today have revamped the menu recently, and they can do just about anything.
You want to introduce them?
Well, can you guys, you can hear them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Jen, why don't you take it away?
I'm Jennifer, I'm the manager of Wheels, and it's just been a pleasure to serve food to the community. Absolutely love it. And then with me, who cooks a lot, I'm Gina, I'm the head cook there.
Hi, Gina.
Hi.
What is, for somebody
it's amazing stuff.
She does.
What's like the stars of the menu there at Wheels? Do you have like stars, like stand out, like people come for?
I make the soup every day.
Get you closer to the mic. Right there.
Hi. I make the soup fresh every day. We do really good salads, wraps, fresh breakfast, made to order, homemade pastry goods, you name it. Got it.
Smoked applewood bacon.
You're open for right now.
Yeah, we're open
for breakfast.
Breakfast, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That from scratch.
So there might be people that are just like across Delta that might want to come over and say hi.
Well, and Rob, when they signed up to be part of it, it was, to me, I thought, okay, we're going to have the basic grilled cheese sandwich from them. But then they sent in their choices. And, oh, my goodness, we were sitting there going, this is like gourmet fare here. We've got goat cheese and fig butter and on one of them. And we've got peaches and cheese and aioli on another. And just, it was really cool to see what they're doing. And then, of course, we had to sample, so.
Well, yeah, that's the hard part.
I know it is. It's the hard part of the job.
That's how we ended up with the 4. Our plan was to come down with 1, so we had all of our Eugene GMs be the taste test judges. So they got to try all 4, and they were supposed to vote on which one we were going to put. And they were like, we can't pick one. These are all so good. So then we asked, can we have the Kindle foursome instead? So that's how we ended up with 4 sandwiches.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. By the way, if you're joining us, we have Don Marie from Food for Lane County, Amy from Kendall, and of course the Wheels All-Star Cafe crew here coming in to now what's in the preparation right now? What are you guys working on over there?
Well, right now I'm fixing you guys up sourdough, peaches, sharp cheddar cheese, and chipotle. And that's our peaches and cheese. And then for dessert, we got cinnamon raisin bread, Nutella, cream cheese, and banana.
It smells delicious.
Wow.
I'm smelling it over here.
Wow.
It smells delicious.
Why? I mean, when they talked about being a part of this, I mean, it sounds like you guys kind of attacked it with, you know what, this is not a hassle or responsibility that we have to, this is something that you want to do and help out Food for Lane County in the process.
Oh, great charity. I mean, we really wanted to help out, and creating all these new dishes was really exciting.
How long have you both been with Wheels?
I've been there 2 years now.
I've been there 5 months.
5 months, okay. And where before the cafe?
Juicy Berry, actually.
Oh, really?
I was Spanish for Juicy Berry.
Wow. And how about you?
I'm from Arizona, so I was cooking out there at the Fairmount Hotel.
Wow. And what brought you to Oregon?
The weather, of course.
Good thinking.
So we're talking about the grilled cheese experience. Don Marie, where can people get these passports? I know we'll have some here at the station, but where else?
You can get them at Food for Lane County as well, but most importantly, you can get them at all 18 of the participating restaurants. So basically, that's a new element this year. Go get a passport. You can go around to each of the restaurants, and when you get a grilled cheese item there, you get your passport stamped, then turn it in to one of the participating restaurants or where you picked it up, and you're entered into a drawing for a GoPro camera.
Looking at the website, because I'm sure people will probably want to start there, because you can kind of plan your attack.
Yes.
Where is it on the website?
So on foodforlanecounty.com. .org, thank you. There is our events at the bottom. If you scroll down, you'll find the grilled cheese logo. All of the information is on the Grilled Cheese Experience 2016 page of Facebook with our Facebook things. So the other thing we want to encourage people to do is to Instagram their experience. So as you're out there trying the different things, take a picture. Take a picture of you and your grilled cheese and Instagram it using the hashtag Grilled Cheese FFLC 2016.
Holy cow.
Yeah. I know,
Remember
it's a
that.
little bit of a mouthful, but
All right.
we wanted
I'm sure
it
that's
to
on the
be easy
website
to
as well, correct?
Yes. All of it is on the website. And that gets you 2 tickets to Chef's Night Out, a drawing for 2 tickets.
Oh. So it's worth the
worth
investigation.
Instagramming. And the more you Instagram with it, the more chances. Yeah.
How much money did we raise with the first go-round of the experience?
So it was a student project last year. We had no idea what to expect, and we were really hoping that, boy, if we can get $1,000 out of this event, we would be doing great. And when all was said and done, we raised about $4,000, and so it was fantastic how the community just embraced it, and they started talking about it and sharing. And we've been asked since, when is it coming back? And we thought, February is soup and sandwich weather, and so we wanted to do it kind of there, give people something to look forward to after the holidays.
So the goal this year is 10,000?
Yes, so that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Last year we had 15 restaurants. This year we've got 18. So.
18. All right. And just to kind of let everybody know.
For the love of cheese.
Agate Alley Bistro, Blackboard Provisions. You got the Beer Stein, Buster's down in Cottage Grove, Cornbread Cafe. You've got Falling Sky, the Poorhouse, Fisherman's Market, Hop Valley, Confusion Grill, Party Downtown, Red Wagon Creamery, Sandwich, The Vintage, the Washburn, Wild Duck, Wild Craft, and of course, Wheels Cafe. And there might be, like we talked about in the Sixer, 1 or 2 or maybe 3 that you've maybe never said hi to or frequented. This is a great excuse to kind of go out there and say, hey.
What is the Fisherman's Market? What are they doing? You don't think of them as, I'm going to go to the Fisherman's Market for a cheese sandwich.
That's right. They're doing a zesty shrimp grilled sandwich. So, yeah, should be good.
The ice cream one is the one that...
Yeah.
Is everybody looking? Have you actually tried it?
I have not tried it yet. I'm supposed to get a little taste today. So, it's part of my job to have to go try this.
It's rough.
But they're doing it.
I haven't, but I've heard it described, and I can't wait to try it.
Tony off the email has been to Wheels and is a big fan, wants to know, do you guys cater?
Yes. Absolutely.
You do cater. Okay.
Oh, yeah, we can do anything.
All right. You guys can do anything.
Yeah.
How late are you open for lunch, late lunch, or dinner, if possible?
Until 3.
Till 3 o'clock. Okay.
Yep.
And you guys open at 7:30.
7:30.
Yeah. Wow.
Ready to go.
Breakfast. This is great. I love the idea of a really good, restaurant, a cafe that's close by the radio station. What else? What did we miss, Don Marie?
I think one of the important things for people to remember is there are a lot of people out in our community that are still struggling, and they're struggling to put a meal on their table. And so the fun part of this is you get to go and you experience all these different grilled cheese sandwiches. They're chef's takes. But when you're there, you are helping provide either 3 or 6 meals for us. And so that's really cool to think about when you're out there enjoying that sandwich, knowing you are providing meals for other people. So that's what it's all about.
Kind of rare that you get to, go have incredible food and kind of in the back of your mind know that you're doing that and you're helping people.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's apparent that you guys love what you do. I mean, you can kind of tell when somebody comes in and it's a job and they're just doing because, I've got to go down to the radio station. But it's apparently you guys really, you're where you need to be.
Thank you.
You guys are all stars.
Very passionate. Yeah.
And
Are you guys ready to try one of these?
Yeah. I mean, if we have to.
Yeah.
I don't think it's. I'll check the owner, the employee manual, but I think this is okay.
I was going to say the other thing, everyone's on Facebook. There's an event page that has all the details to the grilled cheese experience. If you look it up, you can find, and they're posting stuff in there all the time.
On your page?
No, the Food for Lane County created the event page. KendallGivesBack.com has all the details also.
Other than Red Wagon Creamery, was there any one of the folks that are on the itinerary, did it just surprise you? It's like, really, they're going to do it? I mean, Red Wagon Creamery, that's a little out of the box, but then actually knowing the folks that own it, it's really not.
No, it's not.
So were there any that just surprised you? Oh, thank you.
One of the others is Hop Valley is doing a tomato bisque that is served in a cheesy bread bowl. So it's not your traditional sandwich. And so that one was pretty unique. There's a French-style one being offered that has a cream sauce on it.
Up.
There's another one that has a creme fraiche on it. So when you look on our Facebook page, and we've got them listed by restaurant and what they are serving, you'll find something for every single taste.
Probably going to be a third, correct?
Oh, a third grilled cheese experience?
Yeah. Is this going to be, did this make the cut where it's going to be an annual event?
If this year goes well, it will definitely be a
So it's a make it or break
event.
it, this one?
Yeah, it kind of is this year.
All right, so too late, but if you're
just on the
thinking that there's going to be number 3, if you're a company out there, a restaurant that wants to get involved, talk to Don Marie Woodward.
Just on the basis of this cheese sandwich, it should go on for at least a decade.
Well, you were out of the studio. I was thinking they're not that far away. That we could have them in on a morning basis.
Oh yeah,
The Wake Up Call food show.
So you're tasting the peaches and cheese. It's got the chipotle spread and cheddar.
It is dynamite.
Yeah. Okay. Another question off the email. People are a little bit confused where the cafe is.
Okay. So if you go to the Auto Mall, which is at the end of Good Pasture near what's that? Good Delta. Yes. There's Chevy, Cadillac, and Honda and Acura. So the restaurant sits right between Honda and Acura.
So if you know where Playdates is, they got
exactly
right next to that, and so you just kind of park somewhere in there.
Yep.
And maybe buy a car.
Hey,
a grilled cheese sandwich.
If you buy a car, we'll give you lunch.
All right. Don Marie, thank you for coming in, Amy, and so great to meet you guys. We'll definitely, I'm sure, have you guys back anytime you want to come.
Yeah, anytime.
Grilled cheese galore. Grilled cheese experience. Don't forget foodforlanecounty.org. It starts today and it goes through the 15th. So go celebrate and help out. Enjoy some great food.
With our eye on the stock tickers, this is the Wake Up Call Business Report on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Concerns about China have returned. China's official factory gauge fell to a 3-year low. That's reignited concerns about the impact of the country's slowdown on global growth. We are seeing stocks lower as a result. Busy week on the economic calendar, but Wall Street is already counting down to Friday when the government issues its monthly employment report. Aetna posting an operating profit that beat analyst expectations after the company spent less on medical care than a year ago. One of Aetna's biggest lines of business is Medicare, where it runs private sector plans to care for the elderly. The insurer is expanding on its bet on the program with an agreement to buy Humana for about $37 billion. Sony reporting better than estimated profit with a huge helping hand from Hollywood and music. The company credits record-breaking sales of Adele's 25, which wasn't available on streaming services Spotify and Apple Music. Sony was also boosted by the James Bond film Spectre. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Get ready to satisfy your sweet tooth. That's right, it's chocolate giveaway time at Three Rivers Casino Resort in Florence. This February, get a premium box of chocolates for every 1,000 points. Offer good while supplies last. Visit threeriverscasino.com for all the details. Then on Valentine's Day, let Cupid hit you with a cash arrow at Three Rivers Casino Resort in Florence. Join us on February 14th for our Sweethearts Hot Seat drawings. Every hour from 3 till 10 p.m., you could win a share of $6,000 in cash and free play. Visit threeriverscasino.com to find out more. Let us show you the love with cash and chocolate giveaways at Three Rivers Casino Resort and see why things are luckier here.
You know the Tannerite Sports Outlet carries Tannerite brand exploding targets. But Tannerite here in Eugene is so much more. Reloading supplies, tactical gear, magazines, accessories. And if you're worried about finding ammo, Tannerite has bulk quantities of the most popular calibers that'll keep you shooting affordably. Need it and can't find it? Tannerite staff is going to help you locate it, even if it's something they don't carry. Yes, Tannerite's the home for exploding targets. But from tactical gear to ammo, it's the Tannerite Sports Outlet, just off I-5 across from LCC.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a SelectQuote agent with a true story of how SelectQuote goes to bat for you buying term life insurance. A while back, a man called me who had prostate cancer. He asked if I could beat a very high quote another life insurance agent had given him. I said, let me see. Well, I took his pertinent information, then shopped the highly rated, price-competitive companies we represent, and found one who pre-approved him for a premium way below what he had been quoted. When it comes to term life insurance, no other company touches SelectQuote's experience and expertise in finding the right policy at the right price for almost anyone. How about you?
For your free quote, call 1-800-501-0771. That's 1-800-501-0771. 1-800-501-0771. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop. You save.
Welcome to Move Time Radio, presented by the Arthritis Foundation. And we're smack dab in the middle of our dance-a-thon to fight arthritis pain. Me, I've been grooving for 10 hours straight, baby, but I'm a boogie machine. See, movement is just one of the ways to help fight osteoarthritis pain. Another is weight loss. You get rid of just 1 pound. That's 4 pounds of pressure off each knee. For more information on managing pain, visit fightarthritispain.org. Then meet me on the dance floor. This message brought to you by the Arthritis Foundation and the Ad Council.
KPNW weather brought to you by Mattress Mania in Albany, Eugene, Springfield, and Corvallis. Save like crazy.
The first week of February starting off cool and quiet with mostly dry conditions. Partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies for the first half of the week with temps in the mid to upper 40s. By late Wednesday, a frontal system arrives to the region, bringing some rain Thursday and into your Friday. Daytime highs warming up to the low 50s, overnight lows in the mid to upper 30s. From the NBC 16 First Alert Weather Center, I'm Angelica Carrillo.
Give us 15 minutes.
And we'll give you something to talk about at work.
Go Wake Up Call with Holloway in London on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
News Radio 1120 KPNW. Okay, so those were awesome. The second one we didn't have a chance to talk about that much, which was the dessert cheese sandwich, which was
Is it safe to
glorious.
say we got 2 wheels fans?
Oh, absolutely.
Honestly,
until this thing, and that is the Food for Lane County
The
Grilled
event.
Cheese Experience. I didn't know they existed. I had never heard of Wheels. I am totally a fan, just based on the cheese peach and chipotle sandwich. That rocks.
Well, I know at the Food for Lane County meeting where I didn't know about Wheels either, and I all of a sudden, you don't know about Wheels? How? This is amazing food. And now we can say, okay.
Now we know about it.
Yes. Another great restaurant in our vicinity down here with the radio station, not that way from...
My suggestion is, today, head down and get the peaches chipotle cheese sandwich. That is so good. That is really great. The dessert one is great, too, because it has chocolate in it, and I happen to be, like...
Nutella.
A chocolate fanatic. Yeah, it has Nutella, which is chocolatey and goodnessy and awesome. And so on. Oh, yeah, you want to take my... She's taking my dirty plates. I feel so embarrassed. Do you want me to lick it off? No. No, it would be weird. Anyway, that was great.
Oh.
So what?
We got the number.
Oh, okay.
541-335-4870. You know what? We'll put that on the Facebook page.
Absolutely.
541-335-4876. Not only are they immensely talented around the preparation of food, but they're really nice people. Jenna and Jennifer over there at Wheels Cafe. Wow.
We're sitting here wiping chocolate and cheese off our faces. That's awesome.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
That is like what I aspire to make. Like when I make a grilled cheese for Sid, that's what I want to make. Crazy. KPNW, good morning.
Well, where is Wheels? I tuned in late, and I don't know where it is. Please, tell me.
All right, so it's the Kendall Complex, because we had this question on the email. Down there where Good Pasture meets Delta Highway, if you come in, you're going to hit Playdates, and then the complex, and it's between the dealerships. You've got the 3 dealerships. It's right there in the center.
Okay, super deal. Thanks so much.
You bet.
Go down.
I think people are still like reluctant, like
cheese sandwich?
Right?
I don't know.
Is it just like a food cart? Is it just like maybe it's a vending machine? No, this is a place with serious jobs.
If that was vending machine, that is the most awesome vending machine in the world. I would buy that vending machine and put it in my house.
Anyway, just a reminder, the grilled cheese experience going on. This right now that I'm looking at is available today, and $1 to $2 from each of the restaurants. There's 18 of them. Going to donate a portion of each item sold and give it to Food for Lane County, the 2nd annual grilled cheese experience. And I went through the list, but if you want to see what other restaurants are involved, I would definitely say Wheels, I think, has a kind of a special spot because they came up with 4 creations. They have so much going on in the cuisine category that they said, we can't narrow it down to one. And they even had a contest to try to figure out, okay, which one is it going to be? And the people that work at Kendall, they're like, we can't pick a winner. So they're doing all 4. KPNW, good morning.
Hey, I'll tell you what, my mom and I'm 60 and my mom's 80,000 something years old, but we, for some reason here in Eugene, the month of February is grilled cheese. I mean, her and I, every day of February, her birthday's in February, my dad's too, but the fun thing is we actually have our grilled cheese and our tomato soup. And we experiment too. But that's such a great idea for Lane County. God, it really is. So, in Wisconsin, they call them the cheeseheads, so maybe we can do something with Eugene calls something about...
the cheese breaths?
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. But I'm going to start joining. I'm going to hit everything. Okay, thank you, guys.
Thanks.
All right.
Ron's got a
hour number 2.
Mouthful of cheese sandwich.
In the books.
We're loving it.
And we'll dedicate it to Food for Lane County and Wheels Cafe, again, in the Kendall Complex. Any updates on traffic or schools or anything?
Just what we had. Blotchley, Fern Ridge on a 2-hour delay. Junction City, snow routes. Icy conditions around the area. Be careful as you start driving this morning. That's all we can say.
7:52 with the wake-up call, 1120 KPNW from the Whitmer studio.
It's the Regency Factory Fireplace event at Ambassador Fireplaces. Up to $2,150 in savings on select gas, wood, pellet stoves, or inserts. Increase your home's efficiency and get cash incentives from the Energy Trust of Oregon. February 5th and 6th, ambassadorfireplaces.com for more information. CCB 121469.
Mark your calendars, get a babysitter, gather up your girlfriends. It's time for the 13th year of Affair of the Heart. It's Lane County's premier women's event. You've been balancing a busy life and you deserve a night off. What could be better than fashion shopping, martinis, free samples, and great health and wellness information? The 13th annual Affair of the Heart on February 11th from 4 to 9 p.m. at the Lane Event Center. Find us on Facebook or go to theaffairoftheheart.com for details. See you there. Sponsored by Oregon Imaging Centers, Valley River Center, and Oakway Fitness.
This is a referral service. Calls will be routed to an independent referral insurance agency.
Do you know the #1 cause of bankruptcy? No, it's not losing your job or running up credit card debt. It's not even divorce. It's medical costs. If you and your family don't have health insurance, just one serious illness or accident could be financially devastating. But now there's good news, really good news. A health insurance hotline has been established to provide health insurance for all Americans, even uninsured Americans with pre-existing conditions. Now anyone can get health insurance even if you have a pre-existing medical condition. I repeat, now anyone can get health insurance coverage. Call now for a free no-obligation quote on affordable health plans available to you. Again, this is a free hotline for anyone, even if you have pre-existing conditions. Protect you and your family from sudden unexpected medical costs. Call the free health insurance hotline right now at 1-800-841-0007. That's 1-800-841-0007. Call 1-800-841-0007.
I'm Gary Conley with today's Money Minute. Recently, I compared two loan offers for a Bank of America credit card. One was 0% interest over 19 months for a 4% fee. The other was 22 months at 4.99% with no fee. In broad terms, the second one is twice as expensive, so only the ignorant would choose it. But I'm sure the bank is loaning lots of money on these terms, or the same offer wouldn't keep showing up. Still, borrowing on a credit card at these rates is easy and cheap, as long as you pay it off by the time the promotional period ends. If you don't, the rate goes to 10 or 15%. For other deals, it's no doubt more. Here's the nugget. In fact, that's what the bank is counting on when they extend these offers. Typically, the minimum payment is only 1% of the balance. Say you borrow 10 grand. That means about $100 a month. At 0% in 19 months, you would still owe about $8,000. And at 15%, just the interest is now $100 a month. So if you're tempted by one of these deals, figure out how much a month it will take to pay it off completely before the promotion expires. If you're not absolutely sure you can do it, don't pull the trigger. I'm Gary Conley, and that's today's Money Minute.
Are some rooms hot while others are cold? Is mold an issue? I'm Josh from Josh Lowe's Dr. Energy Saver. We'll provide a free home comfort and energy evaluation. Find the causes of these problems and fix them. Call Josh Lowe's Dr. Energy Saver today at 248-1173. That's 248-1173. Or online at OregonEnergySaver.com.
Josh Lowe's, Dr. Energy Saver. We fix uncomfortable homes.
News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Did you know that some young people, even those who are active in sports, have dangerous hidden heart defects? The results can be life-threatening. Early testing can lead to the discovery of these serious silent heart conditions and follow-up care before it's too late. Peace Health offers teen heart screening events to save young lives. Visit peacehealth.org/teen heart screen for more information and for notice of their next screening event. And mark your calendars for February 11th, Affair of the Heart. This fun-filled annual celebration of heart health is proudly sponsored by Peace Health.
KPNW weather with Chris Nation. Brought to you by Mattress Mania, where you save like crazy.
Another partly sunny day for the Willamette Valley, starting off cool with temperatures in the low 40s and warming up to the mid-40s by early this afternoon. Expecting to stay mostly dry to start off your work week with only a 20% chance of showers. Overall, a very mild start to the first week of February with calm winds from the south-southwest around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Clouds increase tonight with overnight lows in the low 30s. From the NBC 16 First Alert Weather Center, I'm Angelica Carrillo.
It's your money. And this is your wake-up call market report on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. It is a tough start to February. Stocks are lower after data showed manufacturing activity in the U.S. shrank for a fourth consecutive month. January was the worst month for stocks since 2009. It was a time that featured sharp reversals on an almost daily basis. Twitter shares are jumping after a report in The Information said investor Mark Andreessen and private equity firm Silver Lake have considered some sort of a deal. Spokespeople for Andreessen and Silver Lake declined to comment to the news site. United Continental is adding special training for all 12,000 pilots to boost safety and improve communications. As younger pilots join United and some move into captain's roles, the airline is trying to improve intergenerational communications. American drivers are within shouting distance of $1.50 a gallon for the first time since 2009. AAA said pump prices nationwide are down about 23 cents a gallon from a year ago, which is translating into almost $80 million a day in savings for drivers. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
The American health insurance industry is circling the drain. I'm Lars Larson with the Northwest Report's commentary in just a moment. Have you ever thought about all the money you spend at the pharmacy buying a shaver, and it's just a cheap piece of plastic? Harry's.com was started by two guys passionate about creating a better shaving experience. They bought a blade factory in Germany. They turn out the best blades, and the starter kit, $15, and it's delivered to your house, and delivery is free. Go to Harry's.com right now. Enter my code name Lars in the promo box. $5 off your first order. Enter my code name Lars for $5 off your first order. That's Harry's.com. Change the way you shave forever. It's happening right in my own backyard. Obamacare is finally, after just a couple of years, killing the American health insurance industry. One of the biggest health insurance companies in America, United Healthcare, lost $500 million last year. They're on track to lose another $500 million this year. And just this week, a major health insurance company called Moda has gotten into such bad financial shape, the state has taken it over. It hasn't been nationalized yet, although I think that's what Hillary and Barry want to do. But it has been taken over. The state has put in a receiver in charge of it, and they're making all the financial decisions. And everybody who bought Obamacare policies through Moda Health is now going to have to find somebody else to insure their health. And it's circling the drain. This is America's health industry going down the toilet. For Northwest Reports, I'm Lars Larson.
Depend on us for breaking news from the local neighborhood to the global one. We are News Radio 1120 KPNW, Eugene, Springfield.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. It's the first time anyone can vote for Donald Trump.
I think he gives me the best chance to better my business and leave a legacy for my family.
These Iowans will caucus for Ted Cruz instead.
We need a man of faith in the White House.
It's very inspiring to hear him speak.
Voters have 9 hours to decide. We have 2 live reports from Des Moines. First, Tanya J. Powers on the Republicans.
Donald Trump is showing up strong in recent polling numbers, while Carly Fiorina is still holding out hope.
The voters actually aren't paying attention to the polls, and they're not paying attention to the pundits. They're showing up and making their minds.
Marco Rubio is trying to sway voters who support candidates that are low in the polls.
I would ask you, with all due respect, to consider switching your vote.
Many voters tell me they're undecided, and that includes not only Republicans but Democrats as well. Fox News reporter Jared Halpern, also here in Iowa, he takes a look at the Democrat races.
Tanya, in a race as close as the Democratic contest, the wild card is Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley, polling well behind frontrunners Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton.
We're going to beat expectations, and we're going to take that momentum into New Hampshire, into Nevada, into South Carolina, and win this nomination.
O'Malley's supporters could be key because Democratic caucus rules say if a candidate fails to win 15% at any precinct, they're considered non-viable, and caucus goers are then free to switch support to another candidate. Dave.
Jared, they didn't enter a plea, but 2 Virginia Tech students were in court this morning for the kidnapping and killing of a 13-year-old girl. David Eisenhower is charged with murder. Natalie Keeper is charged with helping after the fact disposing the body. The Justice Department is going to probe San Francisco's police practices at the request of the mayor because of this shooting in December.
Mario Woods was shot and killed by 5 officers who say Woods had a knife and confronted them with it. Woods is black, but San Francisco police officials say only one of the 5 officers involved was white.
That's Fox News General Scott on Wall Street. The Dow's down 60 points. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
You're independent and want to stay that way, but you'd like some friendship and security. Consider Eugene's elegant yet affordable retirement living, Turpentine Terrace. At Turpentine Terrace, friendships grow through activities, the all-day restaurant-style dining, and the warm community environment. The large studio, one-bedroom, and two-bedroom apartments are the best value in Eugene. They have a secure parking garage and are near excellent retail stores. Call for a free tour and lunch, 689-0619. Turpinning Terrace, a tremendous time of life.
My biggest concern was my daughter's safety. I wasn't going to invite people over when I saw what their homes look like. I didn't know where I was going to go, what I was going to do.
We're in darkness, but there's always a little bit of light, and if people help, the light becomes greater.
Just walking into that house was the beginning of a different life.
Because of this house, I'm home.
You can change the lives of families in your community and around the world. Join us. Habitat. We build.
The World Health Organization is meeting, considering if the Zika virus should be declared a global health emergency linked to birth defects in Brazil, babies born with abnormally small heads. It's spread by mosquitoes, and Zika is now in a few dozen countries. The latest case in the U.S. is in Virginia. Boko Haram terrorists went on the attack in Nigeria, killing 86 people. Many of them children, burned to death.
Children were reportedly forced by Boko Haram militants to stay inside their homes in the village of Dalori after the huts had been firebombed. 65 people were said to be killed in this village alone. The attack was coordinated. Up to 3 female suicide bombers blew themselves up in the center of the village, while other fighters raked the area with gunfire. Boko Haram has been mostly pushed out of towns in Nigeria's northeast, but is now making increasingly opportunistic hit-and-run attacks on softer targets, including schools. In Johannesburg, Paul Tilsley, Fox News.
The leader of that armed standoff at an Oregon wildlife refuge is appealing a judge's decision to keep him in jail until trial. Eamon Bundy was ruled a danger to the community and a flight risk. He's among 11 arrested after a traffic stop that led to a shooting last week, killing a spokesman for the land rights protest. A hearing on Bundy's appeal will be tomorrow. Detroit Lions fans have seen this movie before when Barry Sanders quit football in 1999.
According to multiple reports, Calvin Johnson of the Detroit Lions, the man known as Megatron, has informed his teammates and coaches that he is retiring. He's a 3-time All-Pro, 6-time Pro Bowler, still holds the single-season receiving record, 1,964 yards back in 2012. Johnson would be walking away with 4 years left on his current contract, which was set to pay him almost $16 million next year when he will turn 31. Chris Honig, Fox News.
6 days before the Super Bowl, the Denver Broncos and Carolina Panthers will sit down with the media answering questions tonight. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
KPNW, good morning. Tip of the hat to Will's Cafe for coming in and helping us get the word out about the grilled cheese experience just down the street down there at the Kendall Auto Complex. Today, chance for rain. Pretty much just count on a little bit of cloud cover. 46 for the temperature high. 30% chance of rain and 35 degrees. And chilly right now. We've got 35 degrees currently, but don't, just because you see the temperature, maybe the readout in your car, say 34, 35 degrees.
Don't believe it.
Don't think for a second that it's not slickery out there, because we got, for example, Territorial, 6 miles north of Kings Valley. We've got a crash just coming in about a half hour ago. So it's still dicey out there. Be careful. And now
Blatchley says it's going to be on a 3-hour as opposed to a 2-hour delay. We had word that Bertelsen, also icy this morning, from 11th all the way out to Bailey Hill Road. We're getting just incidentally bits and pieces all around the area where there is black ice. So just be careful out there this morning. Eugene Police sent an email earlier this morning saying that they were dealing with multiple accidents because of ice. So just be careful out there and get your Monday started on the sedate side. Take it a little easy, and if there are places where you know it has a tendency to ice up, either avoid them or just take extra care going through.
Hopefully you know this by now. Ferndale Ridge is on a 2-hour delay as well, and Junction City buses are on the snow routes. News coming up. Stand by. It's 11:20 KPNW at news time 8:07. on KPNW.
New Year's resolutions generally fail, and they fail because they aren't fun. So here's a resolution that's easy to keep. If you've never done it, make this the year you visit Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. How hard is it to keep this promise to yourself? I resolve to eat at least one Burrito Amigos bacon breakfast burrito with 2 types of bacon. As Burrito Amigos' biggest fan, I intend to do this at least weekly. Resolve to have an Audibata experience and try some on a torta. Tasty stuff. Or if you're of the vegetarian persuasion, promise yourself this year to try a yummy taco with yams and a special secret recipe spicy guacamole. If you're going that route, the Amigos rock the potato taquitos. And their tofu burritos have tofu. So keep this promise to yourself. Visit a Burrito Amigos. And this year, you'll make a new friend. A new friend who'll cook and clean up the dishes. That's a friend. Burrito Amigos in Eugene and Springfield.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
How big is Rite Aid's Big Point event? Plenty big. The more participating products you buy with Wellness Plus with Plenty, the more Plenty points you earn through February 27th. Earn 2,000 points when you spend $100, another $1,500 when you get to $150, and yet another $1,500 at $200. That's up to 5,000 Plenty points worth at least $50 in savings. Only at Rite Aid. With us, it's personal. Earning based on total purchases from $131 to $227.16. Limit 5,000 Plenty points per card. Plenty is a rewards program. Terms and conditions apply. See plenty.com/terms for details.
Ramjack has your foundation solution. Ramjack can fix that. CCB 146906. Now, this morning's wake-up call with the latest news from the Northwest and your neighborhood on News Radio 1120. KPNW.
Good morning. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed, locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Here's what's going on. The occupation of the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge is at a stalemate. Eamon Bundy and the others arrested this week are not going to go free until the occupation ends. Bundy's attorney, Mike Arnold from Eugene, says the occupiers want the group released from jail.
They are now saying that they're not going to leave the refuge because he was not released. That is a horrible idea. The process is working.
The judge ruled the group is not going to get bail unless the occupation ends. The people occupying the refuge say they want everyone pardoned, and the FBI has told them that's not going to happen. Meanwhile, militia leader Eamon Bundy directly appealed to the occupiers to go home from jail.
We only came to expose abuse and educate people about their rights. It's protected by the Constitution of the United States.
Bundy is in jail. The call was recorded by his wife and posted on YouTube in Burns. The Pacific Patriot Network is gathering for a demonstration today. Saturday night, they paraded through town in their cars.
Go home! I am home!
Several residents lined the streets in opposition, while others said they're glad that the occupiers are there.
I hope so, but after the videotape, I don't think so. That's all I see in the back of my mind is him getting gunned down by the guy behind him.
The group says it has local residents taking part in the demonstration. A group from Idaho called the 3 Percenters also showed up in Burns to support the militia members at the refuge and to condemn the shooting of Lavoy Finicum. President of the 3 Percenters, Brandon Curtis, says they know many residents of Burns don't want them in town.
We've heard that many times. We've heard that from community members, we just want the sober one or town back. But I think what's happened as time has progressed, they understand why we're here.
The 3 Percenters have called a rally in Burns on Monday. Several dozen people showed up to pay their respects Sunday afternoon at a makeshift memorial that sprung up where rancher Lavoy Finicum was shot and killed by police last week on Highway 395 north of Burns. Mourners prayed and laid a copy of the Constitution on a large wooden cross that's been planted at the site. The site is also surrounded by American flags and signs, including one that says, R.I.P. Lavoy Finicum, a true American hero. Now, rallies against the militia and the takeover of the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge were held in a number of cities across Oregon Saturday, but nowhere near Harney County. In Eugene, Ken Newbeck says they want the occupiers to leave.
So we want to give people an opportunity to have a voice to kind of speak to the folks in Harney County.
However, it would be too inconvenient for many of those to actually go to Harney County. The event was sponsored in part by the Rural Organizing Project. They also expressed sympathy for the Burns Paiute tribe that has several artifacts in storage at the wildlife headquarters buildings. Well, a very strange shootout that left a man and a pair of dogs dead in Rice Hill. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office says that they received a call of a report of a stolen four-wheeler Saturday morning. The suspected driver, 24-year-old Ryan Skevers, had a dog with him that was riding around apparently on the four-wheeler. Well, later that same morning, the sheriff's office said a Frank Hendrickson found a dog on his property that was chasing his animals. Hendrickson shot and killed the dog. Then investigators say Skevers rode onto Hendrickson's driveway in the stolen four-wheeler, took a rifle from Hendrickson's truck, and then opened fire on Hendrickson and his wife. Hendrickson armed up. Then there was an exchange of gunfire. Both Skevers and Hendrickson's dog were shot and killed. The sheriff's office says no arrests have been made. The case is likely going to be presented to the Douglas County grand jury. A memorial was held Saturday at Staten High School to honor Ty Hart. Thousands packed the gym to remember the 21-year-old.
It is my hope that as we remember the kind of person Ty was and the impact that he had, that we will carry those qualities with us as we keep him in our own hearts. Ty, you will never be forgotten.
Hart was a member of the football and wrestling teams. He was killed in a helicopter crash near Hawaii that claimed the lives of 12 Marines. Hart was originally from Almsville. He graduated from Staten High School. Well, a local high school student, authorities say, brought a toy gun to school and made threats, has been suspended. Cottage Grove police say that the male student at Cottage Grove High is not expected to face charges. Authorities say the school resource officer was told about a student who might be armed and took the boy out of class. The officer determined the boy had a toy cap gun, and school officials suspended him. Officials say the student remains suspended until it's determined he's not a threat. Well, is Green Hill Humane Society, in its function running the First Avenue Public Shelter, a, quote, public body under the Oregon Public Records Act? That is a question a judge will be deciding after a hearing today in Eugene. Now, in the case of Green Hill Humane Society versus Debbie McNamara, McNamara claims that Green Hill, which is contracted by the county to run the public shelter, should be required to provide records about the shelter when a request is made. Of course, the shelter used to be run by Lane County. It was funded by county dollars, along with dollars from Springfield and also Eugene. Now, Green Hill Humane Society has fought public requests or public records requests for a few years, even though it accepts tax dollars to run the First Avenue shelter. The issue of the records was first decided by the Lane County District Attorney, who said that Green Hill is subject to the public records request. Green Hill appealed the ruling. In administrative proceedings, the state also ruled in favor of McNamara that Green Hill should turn over the records. Green Hill's appeal of that decision brings them to today's court proceedings. Now, Green Hill receives $500,000 a year of taxpayer dollars to run the First Avenue shelter. McNamara started making public records requests after complaints started flowing in about the mistreatment of animals at the shelter after Green Hill took control in 2012. Well, if you're searching for something to do with your taxes, or for someone to do your taxes, Brad Ford says the IRS has a few tips.
It's easy to get ripped off if you find a shady tax preparer. David Tucker with the IRS says you should ask about the fee. It should be based on the work they do.
Avoiding those preparers who base their fee on a percentage of their client's refund.
Also, don't let them tell you they'll find deductions no one else can find.
Because if they're doing it accurately and doing it legally, the amount that they should get should be standard with everyone.
Check their qualifications. The IRS has a directory on their website. Check their history with the Better Business Bureau, and don't sign a blank tax return expecting them to fill it out. Brad Ford, KPNW.
The clock is ticking for medical marijuana dispensaries selling recreational products. By rule, the recreational marijuana payments are due monthly starting today. Before making their first payment, though, the dispensaries have to register so that the state can create a tax account for them. Marijuana Tax Program Manager John Galvin says it's the law. But 120 of the 309 dispensaries selling recreational pot still haven't registered with the Revenue Department. Only 5 of those 309 dispensaries have scheduled an appointment to remit taxes they've collected from customers in January. Of course, they can't put it in a bank because banking laws won't allow them to put money in accounts that's made from, well, dealing drugs. Not much of a surprise, Oregon Senator Ron Wyden, who lives in New York, is backing and publicly endorsing a New York senator, Hillary Clinton, in her campaign to become president. According to Wyden's press secretary, Hank Stern, Wyden chose to make the announcement during a private interview on Saturday. He revealed his pick in light of the upcoming Iowa caucus and in anticipation of the primary election. Wyden endorsed Clinton in 2008 when she ran against Barack Obama for the Democratic nomination. Stern said Wyden has always admired Clinton's political stance, dating back to when she was First Lady and when the two worked together in the U.S. Senate. Wyden says he agrees with her platforms on a woman's right to choose and affordable health care, essentially the same things that Bernie Sanders believes in. Iowa's going to hold the first primary election in the country today. Well, it was quite a mess on I-5 southbound just north of Cresswell near milepost 183 Saturday morning when a semi-truck crashed. Not much news there until you realize that what the semi was carrying. Wine. Cases of wine. Crews began removing the cases, what was left. The boxes need to be removed before a tow truck could pull the semi out of the roadway. Then shortly after 11:30, ODOT said crews successfully removed the semi, but they had to keep the fast lane closed for another hour and a half while they cleaned up, shall we say, mixed wines. It's 8:20. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. Oh, by the way, I-5 south of Cresswell in the northbound lanes. Apparently, we have an officer who has pulled a pair of cows over. Also, eastbound Franklin Boulevard, multiple law enforcement and fire trucks on the overpass across I-5. Be careful out there this morning. I'm Bill London, KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Russell Wilson made Michael Irvin look like a genius, taking him first pick in the draft, the fantasy-like draft for the Pro Bowl. He threw three first-half touchdowns in yesterday's Pro Bowl game. Team Irvin runs away from Team Rice, Jerry's team, 49-27. Seahawk Wilson chosen as the offensive MVP. His teammate Michael Bennett, the defensive MVP. Hometown hero Marcus Mariota led his alma mater, St. Louis High School, to the field at halftime. NBA, Damian Lillard, C.J. McCollum, each with 21. Although they were both as a combined 1 of 10 from the three-point line. Doesn't matter. Blazers win their 4th in a row, 96-93. Golden State, Steph Curry, 13 points. Klay Thompson picks up the ball and drops down 34. The 116-95 Warrior win in New York over the Knicks. Oregon Duck women won their game 76-54 against Arizona at Matthew Knight. More importantly, there were heavy hearts, as it was announced that multi-sport athlete Liz Brenner lost her dad on Saturday to a heart attack. Of course, Liz's brother Doug, also a U of O student where he plays football. Oregon Ducks sweep the Arizona schools. Last night, the men took sole possession of first with a 91-74 destruction of the Arizona State Sun Devils. Chris Boucher, a career-high 26. And former Oregon and Seahawks running back Derek LaVille has been charged with racketeering and dealing drugs in an international narcotics ring in Southern California. Wake Up Call Sports on KPNW. News time 8:21.
Weather every 10 minutes during the Wake Up Call. Count on it. News Radio 1120 KPNW.
The first week of February starting off cool and quiet with mostly dry conditions. Partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies for the first half of the week with temps in the mid to upper 40s. By late Wednesday, a frontal system arrives to the region, bringing some rain Thursday and into your Friday. Daytime highs warming up to the low 50s, overnight lows in the mid to upper 30s. From the NBC 16 First Alert Weather Center, I'm Angelica Carrillo.
Wildlife, boating, fishing, camping, and more. 43rd Annual Eugene Boating Sportsman Show is back at the Lane County Fairgrounds Friday through Sunday, February 5th through the 7th. Get up close and personal with the Great Bear Show's 400-pound giants. Meet Gold Rush star Dakota Fred. Revel in Tough Shed's Ultimate Man Cave. See the hottest wake surfing boats, kayaks, SUPs, and accessories. Seven Feathers Big Game Room features record trophies and head and horns competition. See the latest products, hunting and fishing guides, ammo, giant fish tank, and more. For kids, there's the Pepsi Live Trout Pond, archery range, shooting gallery, climbing wall, and the zip line. Tony Smith and Dan Clore had an impressive list of speakers in the Sportsman's Theater. Enter to win a Gold Quest adventure with Dakota Fred, a guaranteed trailer, and Weimar door prizes. The first 100 adults will win a free scratcher from the Oregon Lottery. And every adult patron will get a subscription to Northwest Sportsman magazine. Take advantage of low show prices on all the latest model boats at Lane County's premier boat display and sale. All of this at the KUZI Boating Sportsman Show, Lane County Fairgrounds, presented by Weimar, February 5th through the 7th. See you there.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom49.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom49.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 49.com. Go to freedom49.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom49.com.
Hey, Mike here with some info on West Eugene. Did you know there are over 400 businesses on West 6th, 7th, and 11th? Yeah, 400. That includes lots of places to help you express yourself. Maybe you're ready for your first tattoo, or adding to your tat sleeve. Or perhaps cool nail designs are more your thing. For you crafty types, get supplies for your scrapbooking and leatherwork. And if you'd rather sit back and relax, there's live theater. Express yourself along West 6th, 7th, and 11th in Eugene. Go West, creative people. Go West.
The Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
824. Fitting that we would have the editor-at-large on from the Wine Spectator after that painful story of the wine truck crashing and bringing the many cases of delicious vino to a quick demise. This will make you feel better about wine, hopefully, as we have the editor-at-large, Harvey Steinman, on the Wake Up Call. Harvey, welcome in.
Good morning.
I don't think we've had you on the show before, so great to have you. So looking at the website,
Great to be back.
WineSpectator.com.
Right.
I'm talking about this wine app. Sounds pretty. Sounds promising. Why should we have this app on our phone?
Oh, the app is great. If you want to check on a wine that you have in front of you and you never heard of before, you can see if we have a review of it, and then the review will pop up, tell you what the history of that wine is, whether that's an unusual vintage for them or brand new or what, and gives you a connection to the WineSpectator.com website, so you can tell what's going on in the world of wine as well. But the main thing is you have access to our database of more than 250,000 wines.
At what point in somebody's wine career, because I mean, as you start out, you're kind of a rookie, and I know there's people out there that just go, you know what, if I like it, it's a good wine. But at what point does, a wine app rating make a difference in somebody's, in their selection of varietals and whatnot?
Oh, I totally agree that if you like it, it's a good wine for you. What I have to say about the wine just comes from my experience and my taste. And if you happen to try a few of those wines and you like them, you think I'm on the right track, then it's a good idea to follow me. But if you taste some wines and you say, nah, I don't like that, but he did, you probably want to look to somebody else. Fortunately, we've got a couple of million readers who like to keep coming back to us. But to answer your question, at what point do you need to look something up? If you've never heard of the wine before and you want to see what someone else has to say about it, it's an easy way to do it.
You've got a learn wine section of the website. What does one learn? I mean, like we talked about, it's so subjective, but what can we all kind of learn and come to grips that, we should know about wine that we could?
Well, you can learn the basic facts, how wine is made, where it is made, what the difference is between wines made in one place versus another, what goes into making the wines that you like.
So I'm thinking that there's going to be some folks planning to attend a Super Bowl party, and I'm thinking you might be able to have a recommendation. By the way, you've got a great website edition where you've got even recipes up there, but if somebody was to look for a wine that you think would knock mainstream out, would get the collective whole, what would be a good wine to bring to a party this weekend?
Well, since I'm talking to somebody from Portland, it's probably a good idea to mention Pinot Noir, which is Oregon's calling card in the world of wine. Certainly not the only wine that Oregon makes that people like. But if you want to spread, Pinot Noir, you usually think of it as for a special occasion, or it's a highfalutin kind of wine. But you know what? You can buy Pinot Noirs for under $20 that are made in Oregon, that have that Oregon elegance and finesse at an affordable price. And that's the kind of thing where you could pour this around for everybody. And most people like Pinot Noir, except the people that don't like lighter styles of wine. And the other thing Oregon makes that's really great is Pinot Gris. And if you pour Pinot Gris for a party, that's a great wine that goes around. You can drink it by itself. You can drink it with a lot of different kinds of food. And people always have a lot of fun with it.
If you're just joining us, editor-at-large from the Wine Spectator, Harvey Steinman, joining us on the Wake Up Call. So we like it. We root for the home team, and we're making some great wine. But out of curiosity, what does the world think of honestly, because you're not from here, so you can maybe be a little bit more objective. But what do they think of the Oregon wine country worldwide?
It's amazing how quickly Oregon has become a fixture in the landscape of wine from around the world. If you talk about Pinot Noir, you can't talk about Pinot Noir really without talking about Oregon. It's grown in a lot of places, but basically when it comes down to it, what people argue about is Burgundy versus California versus Oregon versus New Zealand. Anything after that is kind of off the charts.
Wow. Yeah, and you say quickly, but we've been making wine for a while. But you think recently, like in the last couple of years, have we become the player?
Oh no, it's been building. Oregon's history with Pinot Noir goes back to the 1960s.
Right.
But California's goes back a little farther. New Zealand got into it a couple of decades later. But things happen very quickly in the world of wine today. It used to be things happened in isolation. You were in Burgundy, you never saw anybody from the next valley over. You just saw your own wines. And it became very insular. But today, with communication being what it is, with shipping being what it is, the availability of wines from all over the world, we have before us more wines from more places, more good wine from more places today than we ever have had in history. And Oregon just fits into that. They was able to build very, very quickly. They spent a lot of time, the vintners that I know in Oregon spent a lot of time in the 1970s and 80s talking to the people in Burgundy that they respected a great deal, and there's a mutual respect because Burgundy came over here, and people from Burgundy came over to Oregon and started planting vineyards and making wine too. There was an exchange of information, there was an appreciation for what the other guy was doing, and an understanding of what it takes to do something special. And Oregon had that leg up of communication to pull off what they did, when now they have to be talked about in the same breath.
Let's name names. Is there any winemakers up here that that kind of broadcast loudly and should be talked about when you talk to people nationwide? Is there anybody up here that you can brag about?
That's a pretty long list. Well, let's put it this way. We've had some Oregon wines in our top 100, which we do every December, which is not the 100 best wines of the year, but the 100 wines of the year that got us most excited. And Oregon's been in that top 10 list a few times. Domaine Serene has been in that list. This year, I'm blanking. I should be looking at a list. I'm trying to play. It's earlier in the morning for me. I just got back from vacation last night, so I'm not quite all there. Yeah, Bergstrom. A Bergstrom wine was in the top 10. The Evening Land has a lot of respect. But also in terms of what we were talking about earlier, wines that you can afford to drink every day. A to Z and ERAF make wines that people can afford, are very well made, and are worth the price.
Is there any? I mean, when we talk about the big boys and girls, you talk. A lot of people know and are familiar with those winemakers. But is there any one or two that is either fledgling? I mean, just kind of out the box, or is maybe on the smaller side, and they don't mind that. They don't mind being the small, winemaker. They're just going to make what they make and make a really good wine. Any of those that you can talk about?
I'd say that's most of Oregon. I mean, a small winery that caught my eye only a couple of years ago, and now pretty much is something that people who care about these styles of wines have glommed onto, is Big Table Farm. It's a small, it's a couple that bought an actual farm. They've got pigs, they've got goats, they're growing things other than grapes. They just finished building their winery about a year or two ago. They're making wine elsewhere, but the wines are really special. They have a good touch.
Talking to Harvey Steinman with the Wine Spectator. Out of curiosity, what is your story? Did you have like a corporate job or something like that you threw away and said, you know what, I want to drink wine and write about it?
No. I've been a journalist all my working life. I started as a teenager. Started as a sports writer. And then got interested in food at a time when there weren't a whole lot of people writing about food. In the 1970s, became the food editor of the Miami Herald and then the San Francisco Examiner. And the publisher of Wine Spectator came after me and said, I want you to write for us. And that was in 1984.
And been doing it ever since?
Yep.
Just got back from Hawaii, and I'm sure that you were able to drink some wine over there and write the trip off. I hope. No?
No, I don't play that game. When I go on vacation, I go on vacation. Although you can't help it. The job follows you. I was having dinner in a restaurant in Lahaina in Maui, and I know the owners. He said a guy from British Columbia was here with some wines that he's just introduced. They're Chardonnays, and he left a set of 5 of them for you. So I wound up taking him back to the apartment, and we drank a couple of bottles, tasted the rest. And it's a kind of an exciting project. It's kind of a spin-off from Mission Hills in British Columbia.
Wow, one of the perks of the gig. Spectator, winespectator.com. Harvey, would like to have you back on the show if you've got the inclination to take our phone call. We'll definitely have you back on in the future.
Anytime you call, I'll be happy to talk to you.
And welcome back. Good luck getting back to the grind. All right, 24 away from 9 o'clock. Coming up, we're going to talk about Affair of the Heart, which is not that far away. Coming up on 1120 KPNW.
Is Wake Up Call Market News. This is the KPNW Business Report.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stocks are falling after data showed U.S. manufacturing contracted last month. Plus, oil dropping as OPEC production climbed in January to the highest level in 20 years. And that is putting pressure on energy shares. Abbott Laboratories has agreed to buy Alair for about $5.8 billion, adding the smaller company's suite of diagnostic testing devices and products. Alair's biggest products are for testing blood levels, diseases such as flu, HIV, or malaria, as well as testing for drug and alcohol use. Disney is the world's most powerful brand thanks to the likable robots R2-D2 and C-3PO, who propelled the entertainment company to the top spot following the box office success of the latest Star Wars. Lego, number 2 in the survey from Brand Finance. A surge in cars and SUVs coming out of leases have analysts predicting pressure on prices of both new and used models. Increased availability of the 2- and 3-year-old models should pull used car prices down from record highs. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg.
It's about time someone put the beer in root beer. Introducing Best Damn Root Beer. Aged over real vanilla beans, this easy-drinking hard root beer delivers a timeless classic that's been reinvented for the 21 and over crowd. New Best Damn Root Beer from Best Damn Brewing Company. Brews you can swear by. Now that's Best Damn. Enjoy responsibly. Best Damn Root Beer Ale. Best Damn Brewing Company, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's the Regency Factory Fireplace event at Ambassador Fireplaces. Up to $2,150 in savings on select gas, wood, pellet stoves, or inserts. Increase your home's efficiency and get cash incentives from the Energy Trust of Oregon. February 5th and 6th, AmbassadorFireplaces.com for more information. CCB 121469.
18 incredible restaurants. 18 cheesy choices. As the Kendall Auto Group in 1120 KPNW present the second annual Grilled Cheese Experience. A benefit for Food for Lane County. From February 1st to the 15th, visit as many of our restaurants as you can and taste their respective takes on the grilled cheese sandwich. Places like the Cornbread Cafe, Fisherman's Market, and the Vintage. $1 to $2 from each item sold will benefit Food for Lane County. Get info on the Cheesy Passport, plus a list of all our restaurants by going to kpnw.com.
All right, let's open up there, Dave. Yes, you have the worst cavity I've ever seen before.
Oh, that explains this horrible pain.
Okay, then, have a good day.
Well, aren't you going to fix it?
Oh, no, I'm not a dentist, just a dental monitor.
Monitor?
I don't fix cavities, just let you know when you have them. Like I said, it's a pretty big hole.
Why monitor a problem if you don't fix it? That's why LifeLock does more than free credit monitoring to protect you from identity theft. We not only use proprietary technology to detect and alert you to a range of identity threats. If you have a problem, we have a U.S.-based team of specialists who'll fix it. After all, plaque attacks are nothing compared to the identity theft that 1 in 4 people experienced last year. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. But with LifeLock, protecting your identity is pretty painless. Your molars are a different story. Membership starts at $9.99 a month. Sign up now and get 10% off. Go to LifeLock.com and enter promo code NEWS.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
Over 300,000 veterans have received the care and benefits they've earned because Paralyzed Veterans of America was there. If you need help with a claim or just navigating the system, contact us at pva.org.
The most accurate forecast now. We have weather every 10 minutes during Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120. KPNW.
Another partly sunny day for the Willamette Valley, starting off cool with temperatures in the low 40s and warming up to the mid-40s by early this afternoon. Expecting to stay mostly dry to start off your work week with only a 20% chance of showers. Overall, a very mild start to the first week of February with calm winds from the south-southwest around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Clouds increase tonight with overnight lows in the low 30s. From the NBC 16 First Alert Weather Center, I'm Angelica Carrillo.
Wayne County.
Basically, what we're doing is using our land use law. As you're running again, pay attention to all of your voters.
And the nation. Holloway in London. The Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
News Radio 1120 KPNW. Be careful out there on the roadways this morning. As we said, there are some icy spots. Take some extra care. Well, coming up on Thursday, the 11th, it is the Affair of the Heart. I think this is, what, about the 10th or 11th annual Affair of the Heart?
15.
15
or 16, yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at how it's grown. And as always, as a part of Affair of the Heart, there's a number of symposiums that are done dealing with women's health issues. And one of those folks that's going to be having one of those kind of discussions is going to be Dr. Jeffrey Paulson. And he will be talking about keys to your heart, what every woman should know about cardiovascular disease. Dr. Paulson, thanks for being on the Wake Up Call this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me this morning.
We appreciate it. So your specialty, obviously, is the heart, right?
Yeah, cardiovascular medicine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you been a cardiovascular MD?
Well, I finished my training not too long ago in June, but coming up from a pretty large academic program, and so starting with these folks here at Mackenzie-Willamette a few months ago, about 4 or 5 months back, and great group there, and we're kind of continuing to expand there. So we're looking forward to reaching out a little bit through this program.
All right, so, you know, I mean, we hear a lot about cardiovascular disease. I know that in the past we've had doctors on that we're going to be talking at Affair of the Heart, and we've discussed the, you know, the differences between the way that a heart attack will manifest itself in a woman as opposed to a man, and the differences there. Are there other differences when it comes to cardiovascular disease between men and women that need to be noted?
Yeah, well, I think it is important to know that that although women can present or are more likely to present with atypical symptoms of heart disease, they still can present with the usual typical complaints: chest pain, radiating to the arm and to the jaw. But women will often present with very vague symptoms of acute heart attacks and chest and heart disease. General malaise, fatigue, things that we otherwise wouldn't necessarily attribute to the heart. And so it really takes a high index of suspicion to diagnose heart disease in women.
Okay. What are, I mean, since that's the, you know, your topic is the keys to your heart, what every woman should know about cardiovascular disease, give us one of the biggies.
Well, I think one of the things that women need to understand is that that cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of women, and so education is absolutely imperative. Cancer certainly gets a justified amount of PR and as it should, but cardiovascular disease really is the most important in terms of affecting the lives of these women that have risks. Cardiovascular disease is going to cause more deaths this year than all forms of cancer combined, and it causes 7 times more deaths than breast cancer. And so it is important for women to understand that that this is something that merits their attention.
Is it a combination of things? But if you were to look at like the 1 or 2 things, is it diet? Is it lack of sleep? I mean, when you think of everything and you kind of throw it up there on the wall, what are the top reasons?
Well, the primary driver of the increase in cardiovascular disease in women is sedentary lifestyle and obesity. But the risk factors that we have traditionally attributed to cardiovascular disease are still there: diabetes, hypertension, smoking. One of the things that I always try to impress on women that I take care of in the clinic is that the risk factors are the same between women and men, but women are actually more likely to manifest the disease in the presence of these risk factors. In other words, a woman with a history of heart disease, or excuse me, with a history of hypertension and tobacco use will be more likely to have significant coronary disease than a man. And we don't discuss that. That's something that really we really should be spending more time and attention toward.
Potential screenings for women. You know, at what age, I guess, should they start?
Yeah, if you have risk factors for coronary artery disease, like high blood pressure, tobacco use, family history of early onset coronary disease, which in a woman or in a first-degree relative who's a woman would be less than 65, or in a man less than 55. If you have any of those factors, then you really should be screened with routine blood pressure checks in the office, lipid panels, looking at your cholesterol levels. The age recommendations, 25 to 40 in a high-risk group, and every woman even without risk factors after age 40, should get a lipid panel, a cholesterol screen to assess for any significant changes in their panel that warrants some treatment.
So if you do all of that, and things come back and it's pointing to not good, not in a healthy state, how hard is it to turn things around?
It definitely requires, patients definitely need to be advocates for themselves, but also with good therapies, we definitely have excellent literature and data in large randomized controlled trials showing that women do benefit from the addition of medications to treat their risk factors. Obviously, age is a risk factor we cannot reverse, but elevated cholesterol levels and blood pressure, we can certainly manage those. So patients, especially women who are treated for those issues, do very well.
So somebody is, man or woman, thinking that they're having a heart attack. Is there anything they can do to increase their chances of, survival and health?
Well, if they're thinking they're having a heart attack, then the best thing that they can do is seek attention immediately.
Sure.
Yeah, really?
The reality is that
not sit there and pound their chest.
No, and that's where it gets very difficult with women because of the atypical symptoms.
Yeah.
And so anything, what I usually say is if there's any change in your usual baseline level of function, or if there's anything that just doesn't seem right, you should utilize the healthcare system. That's why we're here, and it's always better to err on the side of caution than it is to sit and wait. The faster we can get something taken care of, the more likely you are to have a good outcome long term and do better long term. So if you're at all concerned, see somebody about it. Go to the ER, call your primary doctor, they can get you plugged in. But you definitely need to be an advocate for yourself.
What do you say to patients that come in, and I mean, because we've talked about that cholesterol, high blood pressure, all things that can be managed. What do you say to a patient who comes in and says, you know what, I'm not interested in taking all the cholesterol drugs, I'm not interested in taking the blood pressure drugs, I mean, I'm interested in getting these things under control, but, I mean, do you consult with them and say, okay, there's other ways we can go about this, but are they more difficult than, say, popping the pill every morning or every afternoon or before meals?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So certainly even by the guidelines, if a patient is found to have risk factors, then the recommendation initially is to implement lifestyle, dietary modifications, the things that are non-pharmacologic to try to modify their risk. And those are highly effective. We know that we can reduce their risk by 30% if we can get their cholesterol levels under control and we can get them being more active and get their blood pressure under control. And all of that can be done with lifestyle and dietary modifications. Those are very challenging. And the patients that are reticent to take medications, they have to really have the motivation to implement some of those changes in their life. If they aren't, then I'm very specific about their risks, but ultimately we're working together. It's a partnership in their care, and I can provide them with the information that they need. But ultimately, it's us working together. It's their body and their life, and I'd like them to take heed to the concerns, but we have to work together on this, and so that's why these educational forums are so important, because it's all about making sure they understand the risks. And most of the time, once patients really come around to understanding the risks and benefits of these interventions, lifestyle, dietary, and then medications, they realize that we're not just pushing some sort of agenda.
Dr. Jeffrey Paulson joining us on the Wake Up Call, a cardiologist here in Eugene. You talked about the different factors, be it weight, be it cholesterol, diabetes, etc., for heart disease. What is, in your practice, the number one contributing factor to heart disease that you deal with all the time? By far, what is the big one?
Well, I can tell you the highest yield intervention, the number one risk factor that if we can control has the most benefit is tobacco use. If we can get patients to quit smoking, that is by far the greatest benefit we can offer them. Beyond that, diabetes and blood pressure, but diabetes is definitely a significant factor here. But the reality is that if we can get everyone to be less sedentary and we can curb the obesity pattern that we're seeing, we actually will probably see much more gains there as well. It's sort of this constellation of all of these different risk factors. We see them in almost every patient. Some of them manifest in different ways, but the handful of these patients that we deal with, they tend to have a lot of these factors, and they coming together really increase their risk. And so what I try to do is really hit the high yield risk factors as much as I can. Obviously, age becomes the primary driver of risk as patients get older, but in my case, I really focus on the things that are going to give them the most benefit in the short term, which tobacco use and then controlling their blood pressure and diabetes.
So what I hear you saying is don't smoke, eat better, exercise, and drink a lot of red wine.
Yeah, the last one, the red wine is, thank you for adding that to the mix. The data is actually mixed on the red wine, but that's certainly something that...
What do you say?
Well, I say that if you currently drink red wine in moderation, you can continue to drink red wine in moderation, but the data would suggest that you have to drink a lot of red wine to get the benefit of the wine in terms of cardiovascular prevention. And so I don't...
And your friend over here kind of shrugs like, well, no problem there. That sounds good.
Yeah, well, if you're already drinking, I say don't stop drinking, but it's not something that I recommend.
When you say moderation, all right, define moderation.
2 glasses a day is what I would consider moderation. Obviously, in a smaller woman, 1 glass a day is probably what we would consider moderation. But 1 to 2 glass a day regimen should be sufficient.
Other than the red wine, is there one thing that someone can add to their diet that will actually help a lot?
There's been some trials looking at diet modifications for both primary prevention, so preventing heart disease to begin with, and then also in patients who have had events, either heart attack or other heart-related diseases, and essentially adding in components of a Mediterranean diet, eating fish 2 to 3 times per week, cooking with olive oil, eating mixed nuts, unsalted, of course, to prevent hypertension. But those are some of the things that I recommend in my patients. They do provide significant benefit. In the large randomized trials, there was a 30% reduction in, this number seems to be coming up a lot, but 30% reduction in primary events, so the first event of heart attack or heart disease, first manifestation, or even recurrent events. So Mediterranean diet is really what I push.
So do you think that the increase in fish and the effects that it have on health in general outweighs the dangers of, mercury poisoning?
Absolutely. These are bigger fish. These tend to be the fattier fish, and so they may have a little bit higher levels of mercury, but eating it twice a week, 2 to 3 times a week, it should not be an issue. If you're eating it every day and having sushi for lunch, it may be something that you need to consider. But no, this is the benefits are definitely much greater than the risks.
Dr. Paulson, who's going to be one of the keynote speakers at the Affair of the Heart happening a week from Thursday at the Lane Event Center, do you feel like the people that come to these seminars are the people that are proactive and the ones who are concerned about their health, and some of the other people that maybe are out there that maybe somebody has a coworker or a friend that can go, hey, let's go watch it together, maybe don't make the seminars?
Yeah, that's a great point. So one of the important messages of the seminar is that what you learn, take it with you and share it with the community. Unfortunately, especially in women, the highest risk group is the group that's less likely to come to an event like this, which if you look at the statistics, it tends to be lower socioeconomic class and women of color. And so those groups, we want them to come to these events. We definitely offer to them, and it's something that they would benefit from. But to make sure that we're hitting more than just the folks that are proactive in coming to the event, we want to emphasize that it is important. Spread the message. Make sure that everyone's aware, and almost be evangelical about your heart health.
Yeah, and it's a free event too.
Right,
it's a free event.
Dr. Jeffrey Paulson with Mackenzie Willamette Medical Center. Your symposium is going to be Keys to Your Heart: What Every Woman Should Know About Cardiovascular Disease. We appreciate you joining us.
What time is it? What time is the talk?
The talk is at 5:30.
5:30. Okay. Right. The event starts at 4 p.m., goes till 9 at the Lane Event Center. You just got here in September. Have you?
Yeah, it just came up.
Adopted the ducks or the beavers yet? Are you?
Not yet. I'll mention that I went to a school east of San Francisco on the Bay, and anyway, I'm glad to still be part of the Pac-12 up here.
Yeah.
But I'm slowly creeping into the duck culture.
And keep that.
I'm keeping it on the down low.
Yeah. Keep it close to the vest. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Dr. Jeff Paulson from Mackenzie Willamette. Hey, that is going to do it for us. Have a great rest of your day from the Woodmer studio. We're signing off. See you tomorrow. Wildlife, boating, fishing, camping, and more. 43rd Annual Eugene Boating Sportsman Show is back at the Lane County Fairgrounds Friday through Sunday, February 5th through the 7th. Get up close and personal with the Great Bear Show's 400-pound giants. Meet Gold Rush star Dakota Fred. Revel in Tough Shed's Ultimate Man Cave. See the hottest wake surfing boats, kayaks, SUPs, and accessories. Seven Feathers Big Game Room features record trophies and head and horns competition. See the latest products, hunting and fishing guides, ammo, giant fish tank, and more.